A, B, C by Eliza Cook. O thou alpha, beta, rho, fun and freedom's earliest foe, shall e'er forget the primer, found beside some Mrs. Trimmer, while mighty problem held me fast to know of thee the first to last, and all Pandora had for me was emptied forth in A, B, C. Teasing things of toil and trouble, fond of many a roiling babble, how strive with pounding pain to get thee quartered on my brain. But when the giant feat was done, and nobly wide the field I'd won, wit, reason, wisdom, all might be enjoyed through simple A, B, C. Steps that lead to top some height of worldly fame and human mind. Here win the orators renown, the poet's base, the scholar's gown. Philosophers must bend and say, 'twas ye who oped their glorious way. Sage, statesman, critic, where is he who's not obliged to A, B, C? He really ought to be exempt from slighting taunt and cool contempt, but drinking deep from learning's cup, we scorn the hand that filled it up. Be cautious, pedants, stay and thank your servants of a Roman rank, for F.R.S. and L.L.D. can only spring from A, B, C. A Forest Fort by Eliza Cook. The fine old oak hath passed away, its noble stem hath shrunk, till roving footsteps speeding on leave o'er the sapless trunk. Its glory hath departed, and the wrestler with the storm is crumbled, till it yields no home to keep the squibble warm. But bright green mosses clothing it, all soft and sweet and fresh, as true as when it first entwined the sapling in its mesh. It leaveth not the ruined spot, but, beautiful to see, it yearneth still the closer to the old great tree. I know his heart must wither, and become as dead a thing, it will not heed the winter cloud, nor feel the sun of spring. In low decaying solitude this form along shall fade, and moulder neath the grave dust, like the tree in forest glade. Oh, let me hope that some kind thoughts will turn toward my name, and glowing breasts that love me now will love me still the same. A gentle memory fill the home where once I used to be, and cling to me like grass moss to the old great tree. A Home in the Heart by Eliza Cook. Ask not a home in the mansions of pride, where marble shines out in the pillars and walls. Though the roof be of gold, it is brilliantly cold, and joy may not be found in its talk-lighted halls. But seek for a bosom all honest and true, where love, once awaked, will never depart. Turn to the breast like a dove to the nest, you'll find then a home like a home in the heart. Oh, link but one spirit that's warmly sincere, that will heighten your pleasure and solace your care. Find a soul you may trust is the kind and the just, and be sure the wide world holds no treasure so rare. When the frowns of misfortune may shadow our lot, the cheek-seeing teardrops of sorrow may start, but a star never dim sheds a halloo for him who can turn for repose to a home in the heart. A Love Song by Eliza Cook. Dear Kate, I do not swear and rave for sigh sweet wings as many can, but while my lip ne'er plays the slave, my heart will not disgrace the man. I prize thee, I, my bonny Kate, so firmly fond this breast can be, that I would brook the sternest fate, if it but left me health and thee. I do not promise that our life shall know no shade on heart or brow, for human lot and mortal strife would mock the falsehood of such woe. But when the clouds of pain and care shall teach us we are not divine, my deepest sorrows thou shalt share, and I will strive to lighten thine. We love each other, yet perchance the murmurs of dissent may rise, fierce words may chase the tender glance, and angry flashes light our eyes. But we must learn to check the frown, to reason rather than to blame. The wisest have their faults to own, and you and I, girl, have the same. You must not like me less, my Kate, for such an honest strain as this. I love thee dearly, but I hate the pulling rhymes of kiss and bliss. With truth in all I've said or sung, I woo thee as a man should woo, and though I lack a honeyed hun, would never find a breast more true. A Song for the Ragged Schools by Eliza Cook. To work, ye good and wise, let ragged scholars grace your schools. Let Christian children can arise, they must be trained by Christian rules. We ask no fragrance from the bud, where canker vermin feeds and reigns. We seek no health pulse in the blood, the poison runneth in the veins. And can we hope that harvest fruits and desert bosoms can be grown? That palms and vines will fix their roots where only briars have been sown? Man trains his hound with watchful care before he trusts him in the chase. Man keeps his steed on sitting there before he tries him in the race. And yet he thinks the human soul, the meagre, fierce, and untaught thing, shall heed the writing law's control and soar on reason's steady wing. Or they who aid not by their gold, or voice, or deed, the helpless ones, they who, with reckless brain, withhold truth's sunshine from our lowly sons, shall they be blameless when the guilt of rude and savage hands is known? When crimes wrought and blood is spilled, shall the poor sinner stand alone? They will condemn the heart's relief to grope the way in abject gloom, yet conscious that we help to weave the shroud-fold of corruption's loom. Shall we send forth the poor and stark, all rudderless on stormy seas, and yet expect their spirit bark to ride out every tempest breeze? Should we with dim short-sighted eyes look on their forms of kindled clay, and dare to trample and despise our sharers in the judgment day? Our narrow, blind, and witless preachers, do we expect the ragged band to be among earth's perfect creatures, that we refuse the helping hand? To work, with hope and joy, let us by doing what we can. Better build schoolrooms for the boy than sails and gibbets for the man. To work, ye rich and wise, ye ragged children claim your care. Till those who yield crime's jackal cries have learned the tones of peace and prayer. Be kind when you can, by Eliza Cook. Be kind when you can, for the kindness be little. The small letters make a philosopher's scrolls. The crystal of happiness, vivid and brittle, can seldom be cut into very large bowls. 'Tis atoms that dwell in the measureless mountain, 'tis moments that sum up the century's flight. 'Tis but drops that unite the Niagara's fountain, 'tis rays single rays of the harvest sunlight. Stone by stone builds the temple that rises in glory. Inch by inch grows the child to maturity's prime. The jewels of fame so bright, Eastern story have been nursed, tint by tint in the blossom of time. 'Tis grains make the desert sheet, trackless and spreading. 'Tis but petals that deck every blossom-twinned spray. They are leaves, only leaves, where the forest shedding its gloom till the density shuts out the day. A word or glance which you give without thinking may shadow or lighten some sensitive breast, and the draught from a wellspring is wine in the drinking, it quaffed from the brim that affection has blessed. And be kind when you can in the smallest of the duties, don't wait for the larger expressions of love, for the heart depends less for its joys and its beauties on the flight of the eagle than coo of the dove. Buttercups and Daisies, by Eliza Cook. I never see a young hand hold the stay bunch of white and gold, but something warm and fresh will start about the region of my heart. My smile expires into a sigh, I feel a struggling in the eye, twixt humid drop and sparkling ray, till rolling tears have worn their way. For soul and brain will travel back from memory's trickered maze, to days when I but trod life's track for buttercups and daisies. Tell me, ye men of wisdom rare, O sober speech and silver hair, O carry counsel, wise and sage, with all the gravity of age. O say, do you not like to hear the accents ringing in your ear, when sport of urchins laugh and shout, tossing those precious flowers about, springing with bold and gleesome bound, proclaiming joy that crazes, and carousing the magic sound of buttercups and daisies? Are there, I ask, beneath the sky, blossoms that knit so strong a tie with childhood's love? Can any please or light the infant eye like these? No, no, there's not a bud on earth of richest tint or warmest birth can ever fling such a zeal and zest into the tiny hand and breast. Who does not recollect the hours when burning words and praises were lavished on those shining flowers, buttercups and daisies? There seems a bright and fairy spell about their very names to dwell, and though old timers mark my brow of care and thought, I love them now. Smile, if ye will, but some heartstrings are close linked to simple strings, and these white flowers will hold mine fast, to love and live, and all he past. And then the only wish I have is, that the one who raises the turf-sod army plant my grave with buttercups and daisies. Children's Welcoming, by Eliza Cook. They were indeed a lovely group of happy sportive creatures, with all of beauty that can dwell in earthly forms and features. There was a light in every eye, a tint on every cheek, so bright, so deep, that rare ones a limmer would not seek. They sprang about the spangled grass like young and gamesome deer, and thrillingly the voices fled upon my heart and ear. With minds of childish innocence, unsullied and unbent, for living in a world of sin, they knew not what sin meant. "Come on," they cried. "We've decked your seat with fresh-wood oaken boughs, we've gathered flowers, and you must wave them round about our brows. We've chased each other down the hill and through the primrose vale, but now we listen while you sit and tell the promised tale. We've run to meet you at the gate, and watched and waited long. Come on, we're all right glad to have you in our throng." And then the urchins clambered up, gave many an earnest kiss, and led me on with wild delight towards the fields of bliss. Oh, how I laughed the fairy elves! I blessed them, for I knew their inmost thoughts were on their lips, their welcoming was true. There was a strong, endearing spell around their artless ways. I feared no treachery 'neath their smiles, nor falsehood in their praise. I helped to weave their daisy chains, I reft their waving hair, and placed as they to the heart to tell which heart was happiest there. I blessed them all, and much I doubt if time will ever bring words to my ear more musical than children's welcoming. Cupid's Arrow by Eliza Cook. Young Cupid went storming to Vulcan one day, and besought him to look at his arrow. "'Tis useless," he cried. "You must mend it, I say. 'Tisn't fit to let fly at a sparrow. There's something that's wrong in the shaft of a dart, for it flutters quite false to my aim. 'Tis an age since I fairly went home to the heart, and the world really jests at my name. I've straightened, I've bent, I've tried all, I declare, I've performed it the sweetest of sighs. 'Tis feathered with ringlets my mother might wear, and the barb gleams with light from young eyes. But it falls without touching, I'll break it, I vow, for there's human beginning to pout. He's complaining his torch burns so dull and slow, its fire might puff it right out." Little Cupid went on with his pitiful tale, till Vulcan the weapon restored. "There, take it, young sir, try it now. If it fail, I will ask neither fee nor reward." The urchin shot out, and their havoc he made. The wounded and dead were untold, but no wonder the rough had such a slaughtering trade, for the arrow was laden with gold. Dead Leaves by Eliza Cook. I never cared for autumn in the happy days gone by, when all the leaves came whirling down that entwined out the sky. The ladybird might lose her charms, Sir Wood in summer's prime, and every giant arm be stripped that I had loved to climb. But merry was my Lord Love, and joyously I stood, ankle deep in dead leaves amidst the misty wood. Dancing with the spectre things, autumn preached in vain, for I knew that green leaves would soon come again. Now I stand and see the balls of human life get bare, I hear the wail of sorrow's breath through branches bright and fair, and down come leaves of joy and love, all thickly strewn around, and blossoms that the topmost born are on the lowest ground. But no love is on my lip, no light is on my brow, I cannot smile as once I did, I am dancing now. Heart deep in dead leaves, spring will come in vain, for the trees that now are bare can ne'er be green again. Don't tell the world that you're waiting for me, by Eliza Cook. 3 summers have gone since the first time we met, love, and still 'tis in vain that I ask thee to wed. I hear no reply but a gentle, not yet laugh, with a smile of your lip and a shake of your head. How oft have I whispered, oft have I sued thee, and breathed my soul's question of, when shall it be? You know, dear, how long and how truly I've wooed thee, so don't tell the world that you're waiting for me. I've fashioned a home where fairies might dwell, love, I've planted the myrtle, the rose and the wine. But a cottage to me is a hermit's cell, love, and the bloom will be dull till the flowers are wine. I've a ring of bright gold, which I gaze on when lonely, and sigh with hope's eloquence. When will it be? There needs but why, yes, love, one little word only, so don't tell the world that you're waiting for me. Duncan Lee by Eliza Cook. The owl hath left its hiding place, the mist is o'er the sea, and wistfully a maiden's eyes look out for Duncan Lee. The one who seeks the meeting spot is not the child of pride. She has no circle round her arm, no greyhound by her side. Ah, her brow betrays a soul as deep as soul can be, and dear to that sylvan laugh as gallant Duncan Lee. Where, she cries, my Duncan, art thou roving? The hours pass, but yet I cannot doubt thy loving. And now there moves the gallant form within the castle hall, it hurries on with eager bound beyond the castle wall. 'Tis Duncan Lee, the wealthy heir to all Cafulian lands, whose name and tartan keep their place among the kilted bands. The sire hath listened to his son, the son hath fondly sued, the laird hath given the boy his wail to wed the one he's wooed. Who still is crying, "Where, my Duncan, art thou roving? The hours pass, but yet I cannot doubt thy loving." And now the foot of Duncan Lee is dashing through the heather, and now the moon peeps out and finds the beauteous pair together. Oh, what hallowed bliss is there, what rapture in their greeting! His face is flushed with doubting joy, her heart is wildly beating, and soft he whispers in her ear, "Tomorrow shall be before the face of heaven and earth the bride of Duncan Lee." No more she's heard to cry, "Where, Duncan, art thou roving?" The bridal day is past, their hearts are blessed and loving. Fire by Eliza Cook. Blandly glowing, richly bright, cheering star of social light, while I gently heap it higher, how bless thee, sparkling fire, who loves not the kindly rays streaming from the tempered blaze, who can sit beneath his hearth, dead to feeling, stern to mirth, who can watch the crackling pile and keep his breast all cold the while. Fire is good, but it must serve, keep it fed, for if it's worth into freedom's open path, what should check its maniac wrath? Where's the tongue that can proclaim the fearful work of curbless flame? Darting wide and shooting high, it lends a horror to the sky, and rushes on to waste, to scare, arousing terror and despair. It tells the utmost earth can know about the demon scenes below, and sinks at last, all spent and dead, among the ashes it has spread. Sure the poet is not wrong to glean a moral from the song. Listen, youth, nor scorn nor frown, thou must chain thy passions down, well to serve, but ill to sway, like the fire they must obey. Where good in subject state to strengthen, warm and animate, but if once we let them reign, we sweep with desolating train, till we but leave a hated name, a ruined soul, and blackened fame. Galla Brae by Eliza Cook. Oh, tell me, did ye ever see sweet Galla on a summer night, when ilka star had oped its ee, and tipped the broom wi' saft pale light? Ye'd never gang toward the town, ye wadna light the faunty day, if ance ye saw the moon blink dawn upon the beams on Galla Brae. Ah, silent, save the wimpling tune, the wind's asleep, nae leaflet stirs. Ah, give me Galla 'neath the moon, its siller birk and gowden verse. There's mony anither lease and glen, but let them talk or wilk they may, or the ricks and shaws a keen, there's none so fair as Galla Brae. I crept a wee thing 'mang its heft, a laughing laddie where I strayed. I rove beside its burning height, in morning air and glooming shade. Its governs with the first I part, and still my leal heart loves it sae, that when I die, the grave with bed, the hallowed earth as Galla Brae. Gratitude by Eliza Cook. The hound will fawn on any one that greets him with a kind caress. The flower will turn towards the sun that nurtures it in loveliness. The dropping bird with frozen wing that feeds in winter at your sill will trim his glossy plums in spring and perch about your window still. The grazing steed will mark the voice that rules him with a gentle word, and we may see the brood rejoice, as though he loved the towns he heard. I've taught the spectral frog to leap at twilight for the crumbs I've spread. I've lured to fawn till it would keep beside me, crouching bound and led. We find the fiercest things that live, the savage born, the wildly rude, when soothed by mercy's hand, will give some faint response of gratitude. But man, blush, ye lordly race, shrink back and question your proud heart. Do you not lack that thankful grace which ever forms the soul's best part? Will ye not take the blessings given, the priceless boon of ruddy health, the sleep unbroken, peace unriven, the cup of joy, the mien of wealth? Will ye not take them all, and yet walk from the cradle to the grave, enjoying, boasting, and forget to think upon the one that gave? Would even kneel to blood-stained kings, nor fear to have his serfdom known, when evil bend for warble things, yet fail to seek its maker's throne? The bosom that would most repine, its slightest comfort snatched away, the lip that murmurs to resign, is the last to thank, is last to pray. Call home, my thoughts, vain child of dust, however sad their lot may be. There's something good that must demand acknowledgment from we. wouldst thou hear from him above, gaze but on nature's ample field, and that one type of mystic love will ask more praise than thou canst yield. Grey-eyed Mabel by Eliza Cook. I gazed on orbs of flashing black amid the glow of hazel light, among the hue of laughing blue that sparkled in the festive night. But none could fling a lasting spell to hold me with unchanging power. The chains they cast were never fast beyond the gay and fleeting hour, till grey-eyed Mabel's gentle glance, with blushing sense and beauty rife, bid my soul cry with burning sigh, I'm thine and only thine for life. Black, blue, and hazel stars have set, but Mabel's grey eyes lead me yet. What was it in sweet Mabel's eyes that told me what no others told, that roused the dull, that pleased the wise, that charmed the young and chilled the old? What was it held my world-worn breast in holy thrill, unknown before? What was it those grey eyes expressed that made me worship and adore? It was the pure and tender ray that filled those eyes in joy or woe. It was the beam that could not play without a fountain stream below. It was the beam of simple truth, of woman's faith and trusting youth. Those soft grey eyes were watched by mine with earnest, deep, and secret prayer. I knew, I felt, my earthly shrine was found and fixed forever where. I put my heart one moonlit night into sweet Mabel's listening ear. Our mutual bow from winter now bound each to each, fond, firm, and dear. Our boys and girls are growing round, and all give promise, brave and fair. But one young cherub form is found, first in my love, my hope, my care. And why? Why? My soul replies, she has dear Mabel's soft grey eyes. Hallowed be thy name by Eliza Cook. List to the dreamy town that dwells in ripening wave or sighing tree. Go hearken to the old church bells, the whistling bird, the varying bee, interpret right, and ye will find power and glory they proclaim. The chimps, the creatures, waters, wind, all publish, hallowed be thy name. The pilgrim journeys till he bleeds to gain the alpha of his sires. The hermit pours above his beats with zeal that never wanes nor tires. But holy street, or longest prayer, that so can yield a wisdom frame, what better import can it bear than, Father, hallowed be thy name? The savage kneeling to the sun to give his thanks or ask a boon. The raptures of the idiot one who loves to see the clear round moon. The saint well taught in Christian law, the Moslem prostrate at his flame. All worship, wonder, and adore, all end in, hallowed be thy name. Ere may be man's faith or creed, those precious words comprise it still. We trace them on the bloomy mat, we hear them in the flowing rill. One chorus hails the great supreme, each varied breathing tells the same. The strains may differ, but the theme is, Father, hallowed be thy name. Hang up his harp, he'll wake no more, by Eliza Cook. His young bride stood beside his bed, a weeping watch to keep. Hush, hush, he stirred not, was he dead, or did he only sleep? His brow was calm, no change was there, no sigh had failed his breath. Or did he wear that smile so fair in slumber or death? Reach down his harp, she wildly cried, and if one spark remain, let him but hear Loch side, he'll kindle at the strain. The tuner held his soul and fell, and never breathed in vain. He'll waken as the echoes fall, or never wake again. The strings were swept, 'twas sad to hear sweet music floating there, for every note called forth a tear of anguish and despair. See, see, she cried, tune is our opening eye no breath. Hang up his harp, he'll wake no more, he sleeps the sleep of death. He that is without sin among you, let him first cast a stone, by Eliza Cook. Beautiful eloquence, thou speak'st low, but words clashing cannot still thy tones. Thou liv'st as a stream with gentle flow lives in the battlefield of strife and groans. Thine is the language of a simple creed, whose saving might has no priest-guarded bound. If sound you learned, say, would thy mouth bleed, or such dense shadow fall on hallowed ground? Or how we boast our knowledge of the right, but blast the Christian grain with conduct's blight. 'Tis well to ask our Maker to forgive our trespasses, but 'tis as we may bear the trespasses of those who brethren live amid the same temptation, doubt, and care. Or ye who point so often to the hurt, whose dark and evil works are all uncloaked, is there no other than commending word for minds untaught and spirits sorely yoked? Are ye quite sure no hidden leap attained blurs your own skin if you look through the paint? Ye throw from ambush, let truth's noontide light flash with strength that nerves such eager aims, bring pigmy greatness from its giant height. Where would be no splendour of your names? Ye harsh denouncers, 'tis an easy thing to wrap yourselves in cunning species ropes and sharp maul the polished blades ye fling, as though ye held diploma for the probes. But if the charlatan and knave had dropped, some spreading trees would be most closely looked. Ye that so fiercely show your warring teeth at every other being on your way, is your own sword so stainless in its sheath that ye can justify the braggart fray? The tricks of policy, the halt of place, the dulcet jago of a courtly road, the sleek and smiling mask upon the face, the eye that sparkles but to hide its snow, tell me, ye worms, could ye well be the rub that tore the silken windings from the crop? Ye lips that glowered upon a brother's sin, with mould mounting and the whispered speech, methinks I've seen the poison fang within betray the viper rather than the leech. I've marked the fatalities of some gifted one, but soon with prudent doubt and virtue sigh, that through the winning cant of saintly laugh, hard joy give pity to exulting lie, as if it were a pleasant thing to find the race stumbling and the gazer blind. Too proud, too ignorant, too mighty man, why dost thou so forget the lesson taught? Why not let mercy cheer your human span? Ye say ye serve Christ, heed him as ye ought. Ye did not goad the weeping child of clay. He heaped no coals upon the earing heat, fixed no despair upon the sinner's way, and took no gall upon the sinner's bread. He heard man's cry for vengeance, but he flung man's conscience at the yell, and hushed the tongue. Great teaching from a greater teacher, fit to brief alike to infancy and age, the garbled mystery overshadows it, and of its hearts have deepest reach to page, carved upon the mud and temple ark. Let our fiercest judges read it as they go, make it the keynote of life's pompous march, and trembling steps will be more soft and slow. For God's own voice says from the eternal throne, let him that is without sin cast the stone. I leave ye for a while, by Eliza Cook. I leave ye for a while, my love, I leave ye with a sigh. A fountain spring within my soul is playing in mine eye. I do not blush to own the tear, let it touch my cheek. And what my lip has failed to tell, the drop perchance may speak. More mean, when again I seek my green isle in the west, a promise woe will share my lot and set this heart at rest. I'll leave ye for a while, my love, but every hour will be uncheered and lonely, till the one that brings me back to thee. I go to make my riches more, but where's man to find a vein of gold so rich and pure as that I leave behind? Or then, for my home might be the fairest earth possessed, till thou wouldst share and make it warm, this heart would know no rest. I'll leave ye for a while, my love, my cheek is cold and white, but I see a promise stand with the glance of light. When next I seek old errant shore, thy step will bless it too, and the grass will seem more green, the sky will have more blue. More than, first in tears loved, there's sunshine in my breast, for thou wilt share my future lot, and set this heart at rest. I miss thee, my mother, by Eliza Cook. I miss thee, my mother, thy image is still the deepest impressed on my soul, and the table so faithful, and death must be chill, a line of that image depart. Thou wert torn from my sight when I treasured thee most, when my reason could measure thy worth, when I knew but too well that the idol I'd lost could be never replaced upon earth. I miss thee, my mother, in circles of joy, where I've mingled with rapture zest, for slight is the touch that will serve to destroy all the fair web spun in my breast. Some melody sweet may be floating around, 'tis a ballad I learned at thy knee. Some strain may be played, and shrink from the sound, for my fingers oft woke it for thee. I miss thee, my mother, when young health was fled, and I sink in the lagoon of pain. Where's the arm that once pillowed my head, and the ear that once heard me complain? Other hands may support, gentle accents may fall, for the fond and the true are yet mine. I've a blessing for each, I'm grateful to all, but whose care can be soothing as wine? I miss thee, my mother, in summer's fair day, when I rest in the ivy-wreathed bower, when I hang thy petal in its cage high on the spray, or gaze on thy favourite flower. There's the bright gravel path where I played by thy side, when time had scarce wrinkled thy brow, where I carefully led thee with worshipping pride, and thy glossy locks gathered the snow. I miss thee, my mother, in winter's long night, I remember the tale thou wouldst tell, the romance of wild fancy, the legend of fright, or who could dare tell them so well? My corner's vacant, the chair's removed, it was kind to take it from my eye. Yet relics around me were sacred and laughed to call out the pure sour-fed sigh. I miss thee, my mother, or when do I not? For I know 'twas the wisdom of heaven that the deepest shade fell on my sunniest spot, and such tie of devotion was riven. For when thou wert with me, my soul was below, I was chained to the world I then trod. My affections, my thoughts, were all earthbound, but now they have followed thy spirit to God. I thank thee, God, for weal and woe, by Eliza Cook. I thank thee, God, for all I've known, of kindly fortune, health, and joy, and quite as gratefully your own the bitter drops of life's alloy. There was wisdom in the blow that wrung the sad and scathing tear, that laid my tears idle low and left my bosom lone and drear. Thank thee, God, for all of smart that thou hast sent, for not in vain has been the heavy aching heart, the self-grief, the throb of pain. What if my cheek had ever kept its healthful colour, glad and bright? What if my eyes had never wept throughout the long and sleepless night? And then perchance my soul had not remembered there were paths less fair, and selfish in my own blessed lot, ne'er strove to soothe another's care. But when the weight of sorrow found my spirit prostrate and resigned, the anguish of the bleeding wound taught me to feel for all mankind. Even as from the wounded tree the goodly, precious balm will pour, so on the riven heart there'll be mirth that never flowed before. 'Tis well to learn that sunny hours may quickly change to mournful shade. 'Tis well to prize life's scattered flowers, yet be prepared to see them fade. I thank thee, God, for weal and woe, and whatsoever the trial be, 'twill serve to wean me from below, and bring my spirit nigher thee. Loch Leven's gentle stream, by Eliza Cook. I've gazed upon the rapid Rhine, I've seen its waters foam and shine, I've watched its cascades, wild and bright, lap proudly on in rainbow light. Its waves have charmed my desert eye, like mountain silver dashing by. Still, I could not love the Rhine. The landed water was not mine. I sighed to see the moon's mild beam fall on Loch Leven's gentle stream. I've wandered by the placid Rhone, the night was on a starry throne. I've looked upon the Tiber's height, and plucked the wildflowers by its side. I've heard the gondolier's wild note of the lagoon's fair waters float. Still I turned with willing feet my native north again to greet, again to see the moon's mild beam fall on Loch Leven's gentle stream. Laugh on, by Eliza Cook. Laugh on, the soul must have a shrine. The rudest breast must find some hallowed spot. The one who formed us left no spark divine in him who dwells on earth, yet loveth not. Devotion's links compose a sacred chain of holy brightness and unmeasured length. The world with selfish rust and reckless stain may mar its beauty, but not touch its strength. Love on, I, even though the heart we fondly build on proveth like the sand. Though one by one faith's cornerstones depart, and even hope's last pillar fails to stand, though we may treat the lips we once believed, and now the falsehood shadows all our days, who would not rather trust and be deceived, than own the mean, cold spirit that betrays? Love on, though we may live to see the dear face whiter than its circling shroud. Though dark and dense the gloom of death may be, affection's glory yet shall pierce the cloud. The truest spell that heaven can give to lure, the sweetest prospect mercy can bestow, is the blessed thought that bids the soul be sure to meet above the things it loved below. Love on, creation breathes the words, where mystic music ever dwells around, the strain is echoed by unnumbered chords, and gentle bosoms yield the fullest sound. As flowers keep springing, though their dazzling bloom is oft put forth for warmth to feed upon, so hearts, though wrung by traitors and the tomb, shall still be precious and shall still love on. Many happy returns of a day, by Eliza Cook. Merry words, ye come bursting around, telling all that affection can say. 'Tis the music of heart chords that dwells in the sound. Many happy returns of a day. The red cheek of a child is more rich in its glow, and the bright eye more swift in its ray, when his mates hail his birth in the holiday mirth, and drink happy returns of a day. The old man may smile while he listens, and feel he have little time longer to stay. Still he liketh to hear from the lips that are dear many happy returns of a day. Though misfortune is nigh, let the kind words float by, and something of hope will spring up, that the hand of future may drain off a gall, and some nectar drops yet fill our cup. If we bask in content while another short year is recorded with elegant bliss, how we prize the fond wishes or gladly sincere that come round with a soul-pleading kiss. How our place in the world will be chilly and drear, when our natal tide passes away without one to remember or breath in our ear many happy returns of the day. There are moments when memory cruelly brings the grim spectres of joy back again, when sorrow malignantly sharpens her stings till we quiver and bleed with the pain, and the spirit will groan in such moments as this, when our loudly held birthday shall fall. But among the warm greetings, there's one that we miss, and that one was the dearest of all. What would we not give if the grave could restore the dear form that half rested away? If a voice of that lost one could wish us once more many happy returns of the day. There are moments when truth and devotion increase till they burn in the crucible breast with an increased might that we knew not the light of our smouldering feeling possessed, and that flame will be vividly flashing out of us when the welcome returns of a time that gave some loved beings to life and to us. The sweet bells and mortality's chime, when a garland, a bumper, a dance and a feast, let the natal tide come when it may, be it autumn or spring, or gay chorus will sing many happy returns of a day. My Grave by Eliza Cook. Sweet is the ocean grave, under the azure wave, where the rich coral the sea-grot illumes, where pearls and amber meet, decking the winding sheet, making the sailors the brightest of tombs. Let the proud soldier rest, wrapped in a gory vest, where he may happen to fall in a shield. To sink in the glorious strife was his first hope in life. Dig him his grave on the red battlefield. Lay the one great and rich in the strong cloister niche, give him his coffin of cedar and gold. Let the wild torchlight fall, floating the velvet pale, Loch and marble vault, darksome and cold. But there's a sunny hill, fondly remembered still, crowned with fair grass, and the bonny elm tree, fresh as the foamy surf, sacred as churchyard turf. There be the resting place chosen by me. Though the long formal prayer ne'er has been uttered there, though the robbed priest has not hollowed the sod, yet would I dare to ask any in saintly mask, where's the spot that's unwatched by God? Where the wind loud and strong whistles its winter song, shrill in its wailing and fierce in its sweep. This music now sweet and dear, laughed by my soul and ear, let it breath on where I sleep the last sleep. Where in the summer days rest the bright flashing rays, where spring the wildflowers, fair as can be. Daisy and pimpernel, lily and cowslip bell, these be the grave flowers chosen by me. There would I lie alone, marked by no sculptured stone. Few will regret when my spirit departs, and allow for vain, charnel fame, praising an empty name. Dear after all, but to 2 or 3 hearts. Who does not turn and laugh at the false epitaph, painting men spotless and pure as the dove? If aught of goodly worth grace my career on earth, all that I heed is its record above. 'Tis on that sunny hill, fondly remembered still, where my young footsteps climbed, happy and free, fresh as the foamy surf, sacred as the churchyard turf. There be the sleeping place chosen by me. Nestar was Glintin our Aboon by Eliza Cook. Nestar was Glintin our Aboon, the clouds were dark and hid the moon. The whistling gale was in my teeth, and round me was the deep snoreth. But on I went the dreary mile, and sung right canty the while. I gave my placid a closer fold, my hand was warm, my heart was bold. I did na heed the storm and cold, by ganging to my cahie. But when I trod the same way back, it seemed a sad and woeful trek. The brank glen were lone and long, I did na see my courtie sing, I felt how sharp the sleet it far, and could na face the wind there. A sick a change could it be, I ken full well and say me ye, the sunshine had been gloom to me, by ganging frae my cattie. Night by Eliza Cook. The god of day is speeding his way through the golden gates of the west. A rosebud sleeps in the parting ray, the bird is seeking its nest. I love the light, yet welcome night, for beneath thy darkling fall the troubled breast is soothed and rest, and the slave forgets his thrall. The peasant child, all strong and wild, is growing quiet and meek. All fires hid 'neath his heavy lid, the lashes yearn to the cheek. He roves no more in gamesome glee, but hangs his very head, and loiters beside the mother's knee to ask his lovely bed. The butterflies fold their wings of gold, the dew falls chill in the bower. The cattle wait at the kinyard gate, the bee half forsaking the flower. The roar of the city is dying fast, its thunder no longer thrill. The hurrying fret is faint at last, the artisan's hammer is still. Night steals apace, the ruler supreme, a hallowed calm is shed. No footstep breaks, no whisper wakes, 'tis the silence of the dead. The hollow bay of the distant dog bids drowsy echoes start. The chiming hour from an old church tower strikes fearfully on the heart. All spirits are bound in slumber sound, save those o'er deathbed weeping, or the soldier one that paces alone his guard by the watchfire keeping. With ebon wand and sable robe, a beautiful night art thou, serenely set on a throne of jet, with stars about thy brow. Thou comes to drive a mourner's eye that, wakeful, is ever dim, to hush for a while the griever's sigh, and give strength to the wearied lip. Hail to the sceptre, if your queen, for mercy marks thy reign, for the careworn breast may take its rest, and the slave forget his chain. Norah M Shane by Eliza Cook. I've left Ballymonarch a long way behind me, to better my fortune I've crossed the big sea. But I'm sadly alone, not a creature to mind me, and faith, I'm as wretched can be. I think of a buttermilk fresh as a daisy, the beautiful hills and the emerald plain. Oh, don't I oftentimes think myself crazy about that young black-eyed rough, Norah M Shane. I sigh for the turf pell, so cheerfully burning, and barefoot I trudged it from toiling afar, and I tossed in the light the 13 I'd been earning, and whistled the anthem of Erin go Bragh. In truth, I believe that I'm half broken-hearted. To my country and love I must get back again. I've never been happy yet, all since I parted from sweet Ballymonarch and Norah M Shane. Oh, was something so dear in the cot I was born in, though the walls are but mud and the roof is but thatch. How familiar the grunt of the pigs in the morning, what music in lifting a rusty old latch. 'Tis true I'd no money, but when I had no sorrow, my pockets were light, but my heart had no pain. And if I but lived till the sun shines tomorrow, I'd be off to old Ireland and Norah M Shane. Not as I used to do, by Eliza Cook. I look on the chestnut blossom as it points to the cloudless sky, on the daisy's golden bosom and the hyacinth's deep blue eye. I see the lime tree flinging its delicate green arms out, the fragrant jasmine clinging, and the woodbine running about. The lilac hiding in the paling with clusters of purple and white, and the graceful laburnum trailing its tresses of radiant light. But for me the garlanded bowers have lost their rainbow hue. I look on the fields and flowers, but not as I used to do. I hear the bird boys rattle, chime in with the cawing rook. I hear the low of a kettle and the plash of a rippling brook. I hear the shepherd singing and the bleat of a sportive lamb. I hear the loud foils swinging and the barn doors creaking slain. I hear the swallows starting like arrows in chase of a fly, and the tawny leveret starting, at play in the copse just by. I hear the broad flags quiver where the wind and tide rush through. I listen to mill wheel and river, but not as I used to do. I hear the blackbird telling his love-tale to his mate, and the merry skylark swelling the choir at heaven's gate. The cuckoo away in the thicket is giving his 2 old notes, and the pet doves hung by the wicket are talking with ruffled throats. The honey-bee hums as he lingers where shadows of clover heads fall, and the wind with leaf-tipped fingers is playing in concert with all. And the music that gushes its melody, sweet and true, and I listen to sapphires and thrushes, but not as I used to do. No more can my footsteps wander through woodlands loved and dear. I gaze on the hilltops yonder through the mist of a hopeless tear. My spirit is worn and weary with waiting for heaven rest. My long, long night is dreary and my summer day unblessed. My suffering darkens the moonlight when anguish embitters the balm. My loneliness weeps in the moonlight and sighs in the evening calm. Oh, its suffering, mournful story must be woeful long and true, and it finds me not in God's glory, not as I used to do. Oh, dear to memory of those hours, by Eliza Cook. Dear to memory of those hours, when every path led to flowers, when sticks of peppermint possessed a spectre's paw o'er the breast, and heaven was round us while we fed on rich ambrosial gingerbread. I bless the days of infancy, when stealing from my mother's eye, Elysian happiness was found on that celestial field the ground. When we were busied, hands and hearts, and with important things dirt hearts. That smile, for sapient vulgar man, of cogitate some mighty plan. And spellbound by the bubble dream, he labours till he proves the scheme about as useful and as wise as manufacturing dirt pies. With many a change on folly's belts, quite equals mud and oyster shells. When shun the mere rays of youth, eclipsing quite the lamp of truth, and precious vows bright sunbeams were, that dried all tears, dispersed all care, that shed a stream of golden joy without one atom of alloy. Or ne'er in mercy strive to chase such dazzling phantoms from their place, ever trifling, mean, or wild, these deeds may seem of youth or child, while they still leave untarnished soul the iron rod of stern control, should be but gentle in its sway, nor rend the magic veil away. I doubt if it be kind or wise to quench the light in opening eyes, by preaching fallacy and woe as all that we can meet below, and I respect the ready tongue, with augur sword to the young, that aptly places Sybil's part to promise nightshade to the heart. Let them make silent their love and song, are rarely known to last so long. Why should we strive with cynic frown to knock their fairy castles down? We know that much of pain and strife must be the common lot of life. We know the world is dark and rough, but time betrays it soon enough. On receiving a bunch of heather, gorse, and fern, by Eliza Cook. Wild blossoms of the moorland, ye are very dear to me. Ye lure my dreaming memory as clover does the bee. Ye bring back all my childhood laughed, when freedom, joy, and health had never thought of weaving chains to fetter fame and wealth. Wild blossoms of a common land, brave tenants of the earth, your breathings were among the first that had my spirit's birth. For how my busy brain would dream, and how my heart would burn, where gorse and heather flung their arms above a forest fern. Wild blossoms of a lonely waste, no fear could ever daunt my tiny feet from wandering amid your jungle haunt. And many a bunch of purple bells that towered above myself, and many a fragrant brake I pulled like some wee sylvan elf. But others tempting leaves of gold were difficult to get. Alas, I prove that winning gold is not more easy yet. But in my fingers only felt the sharp and piercing smart, and I find the worldly thorns oft leave a wounded heart. O happy time, a roof of rhyme had crossed my sunny brain. 'Tis not worth while to ask if such time will come again. For then my soul had not a thought but might be told aloud, and pleasure's optics always gave her bow without its cloud. How bright my eye was when I gazed upon the plums of green, and saw young rabbits in the play-course speeding on between. And though its sand with root-bound arc formed strange and antique bowers, and yea wild blossoms of the waste, fresh and Eden flowers. Who loved me then? Of those who were as gentle as sincere, who never kissed my cheeks so hard as when it owned a tear. Whom did I love? Oh, those whose faith I never had to doubt, those who grew anxious at my side and smiled upon my poet. What did I crave? The poet who rove and questioned in my will, or wayward idler that I was, perchance I am such still. What did I fear? Not chance or change, so that it did turn my footstep from the moorland coast to the heather and the fern. Methinks it was a pleasant time, those gypsy days of mine, when youth's rosy magic turned life's waters into wine. But nearly all who shared those days have passed away from earth, passed in the beauty and the prime, the happiness and mirth. So now, rich flowers of the waste, I'll sit and talk to ye, for memory's casket filled with gems is opened by your key. And glad I am that I can grasp your blossoms sweet and wild, and find myself a daughter yet, a dreamer and a child. On seeing the birdcatcher, by Eliza Cook. Health in his rags, content upon his face, a ghost and slave of a feathered race, and cunning snares warm hearts like warblers take, the one to sing for sport, the other break. Our native song, by Eliza Cook. Our native song, where is he who loves it not? The spell it howls is deep and strong, where'er we go, where'er our lot. Let other music greet our ear, the thrilling fire our dulcet tone. We speak to praise, we pause to hear, But yet, oh yet, 'tis not our own. The anthem chant, the ballad wild, the notes that we remember long, the theme we sung with lisping tongue, 'tis this we love, our native song. The one who bears the felon's brand, with moody brow and darkened name, thrust meanly from the fatherland to languish out a life of shame. I let him hear some simple strain, some lay his mother taught her boy. He'll feel the charm and dream again of home, of innocence and joy. A sigh will burst, the drops will start, and all of virtue buried long, the best, the purest in his heart is wakened by his native song. Self-exiled from our place of birth to climes more fragrant, bright and gay, the memory of our own fair earth may chance awhile to fade away. But should some minstrel echo fall of chords that breathe out England's fame, our soul will burn, our spirits yearn, true to the land we love and claim. For high, below, in weal or woe, be sure there's something coldly wrong about the heart that does not glow to hear its own, its native song. Our Sailors and Our Ships by Eliza Cook. How dashingly in sun and light the frigate makes her way, her white wings spreading full and bright beneath a glancing ray. The gale may wake, but she will take whatever wind may come. Fit care to be the ocean god upon his crystal home. She cleaves the tide with might and pride, like warhorse freed from rain. She treats the wave like abject slave, the empress of her main. All shall mark the gallant bark, their hearts upon their lips that cry out England, who shall match thy sailors and thy ships. Stout forms, strong arms, and dauntless spirits dwell upon the deck, true to their cause in calm or storm, in battle or in wreck. No foe will meet a coward hand, faint heart or quailing eye. They only know to fall or stand, to live a brave or die. The flag that carries around the world a Nelson's victor name must never shield a dastard knave for strike and craven shame. Let triumphs scan her blazing page, no record should eclipse the glory of old England's cross, her sailors and her ships. The tempest breath sweeps all the sea with howlings of despair. Death walks upon the waters, but the tar must face and bear. The bullets hiss, the broadside pours, mid sculptor, blood and smoke, and prove the bridge crew and craft alike are hearts of oak. O ye who live mid fruit and flowers, the peaceful, safe and free, yield up a prayer for those who dare the perils of the sea. God and our right, these are the words, first upon our ships, but next shall be out England's flag, our sailors and our ships. Parting Song by Eliza Cook. Come, let us part with lightsome heart, no breath one hiding sigh, to think what wings of rainbow plums so soon should learn to fly. We scarcely like the chimps to strike the tell of pleasure's flight, but friendships chained when served first is sure to reunite. And why not we, as may be, though the song be the last, believing our hours will come as bright as those just past? The wild bird's song is loud and long, but sweetest and the best is whistled as he leaves the board to seek his lonely nest. The sun's rich beam shines through the day, but flashes deeper still, while darting forth his farewell ray behind the western hill. And why not we, as may be, in thus our parting strain? For like the bird and sun, we'll come with joy and warmth again. The moments fled like a violet's dead shall never lose their power, for grateful perfume ever marks the memory's withered flower. The sailors lay in peaceful bay with gladsome mirth rings out, but when the heavy anchors weighed, he gives his blithe a shout. And why not we, as may be, in this our parting strain, entrust the gallant sailors do to make the port again? Sailing Song by Eliza Cook. We have left the still earth for the billows and breeze, 'neath the brightest of moons and the bluest of seas. We have music, hark, hark, there's a tone of the deep, like the murmuring breath of a lion asleep. There's enough of bold dash in the rich foam that laves, just to whisper the slumber-wrapped might of the waves, but yet there's a sweetness about the full swell, like the song of a mermaid, the voice of a shell. We have jewels, oh, what is your casket of gems to the pearls hanging thick on the red coral stems? Are there homes of more light than the one where we are? For it nestles the dolphin, mirrors the star. We may creep, we may scud, we may rest, we may fly. There's no check to our speed, there's no dust for our eye. But oh well, may our spirits grow wild as the breeze, 'neath the brightest of moons on the bluest of seas. Sir Harold the Hunter by Eliza Cook. Sir Harold the hunter was rarely seen, at least in his lordly home, but roughly clad in his forester's green, far over the hills he'd roam. With his hounds and his bugle he greeted the dawn, tracing the roebuck's track. Oft was he seen at the rosy morn, with a wild fawn slung at his back. Merrily carolled the bold young knight, "No love nor bride for me, I'll never go wooing to beauty bright, but live as a hunter free." Sir Harold the hunter, what ails him now? His beautiful dog-side play, he has thrown aside with warning bow, his tunic is courtly and gay. His quiver is hung with barbs may rest, on high with his hunting spear. His echoing bugle is covered with dust, and a softer note comes near. Sir Harold is singing beneath the moon, "List, dearest Ella, to me, live to the night is a joyless boon, if he's parted long from we." Sir Harold the hunter is often known to go forth at the sunset hour. He roves in the twilight, but roves not alone, he leads a fair maid from her bower. He has doffed his belt and forester's green, and shines in a bridal's hue. Wooing and wedding are there, I ween, with the priest, the dance, and the lute. Merrily carols the gay young knight, "Love my bride for me, 'tis better to kneel to beauty bright, than to live as a hunter free." Some call the world a dreary place, by Eliza Cook. Some call the world a dreary place, and tell long tales of sin and woe, as if there were no blessed trace of sunshine to be found below. The point when autumn winds are sighing to falling leaves and withered flowers, but should we only mourn them dying, and never note their brilliant hours? We mark the rainbow's fading light, and say it is the type of man, Parthophy. But oh, how bright the transient glory of a span! We liken life unto the stream, that swift and shallow pours along. But beauty marks the rippling gleam, music fills the bubbling song. Why should the preacher ever rave of sorrow, death, and dust to dust? We know it we shall fill a grave, but why be sad before we must? Look round the world, and we shall see, despite the cynic snarling groan, much to waken thankful glee, as well as ring the hopeless moan. Perchance the laden tree we shake may have a reptile at its root, but shall we only see the snake, and quite forget the grateful fruit? Shall we forget each sunny morn, and tell of one dire lightning stroke? Of all the suits that we have worn, shall we but keep the funeral cloak? Or why should our own hands be twining dark chaplets from the suppressed tree? Why stand in gloomy spots, repining when further on sweet buds may be? 'Tis true that nightshade oft will bind us, that eyes the brightest will be dim. Old wrinkled care to fill will find us, but why should we go seeking him? Song of Old Time, by Eliza Cook. I were not the purple of earth-born kings, nor the stately ermine of lordly things, but monarch and courtier, for great they be, must fall from their glory and bend to me. My sceptre is gemless, yet who can say they will not come under its mighty sway? Ye may learn who I am, there's the passing chim, and the dial to herald me, old King Time. Softly I creep like a thief in the night, after cheeks all blooming and eyes all light. My steps are seen on the patriarch's brow, in the deep-worn forests and locks of snow, who laugh at my power, the young and the gay, but they dream not how closely I track their way. Wait till their first bright sands have run, and they will not smile at what time hath done. I eat for treasures with moth and rust, I lay the gorgeous palace in dust, I make the shell-proof tower my own, and break the battlement stone from stone. Work on at your cities and temples, proud men, build high as ye may and strong as ye may, but the marble shall crumble, the pillar shall fall, and time, oh time, will be king after all. Song of a Blind One, by Eliza Cook. They talk of rainbows in the sky and blossoms on the earth. They sing the beauty of the stars in songs of love and mirth. They say the ripening wave is fair, they tell of dewdrops bright. They praise the sun that warms the day, and moon that cherishes the night. I do not sigh to watch the sky, I do not care to see the lustre drop on green hilltop, or fruit upon the tree. I've prayed to have my lids unsealed, but 'twas not to behold the pearly dawn of misty morn, or evening cloud of gold. No, no, my Mary, I would turn from flower, star, and sun, for well I know what fares till my own, my gentle one. I hear the music, others deem most eloquent and sweet, the merry lark above my head, the cricket at my feet. laughing tones of childhood's glee that gladden while we ring the robin in the winter time, the cuckoo in the spring. But never do I think of those tones so beautiful as thine, when kind words from a tender heart confirm that heart is mine. There is no melody of sound that bids my soul rejoice, as when I hear my simple name breathed by thy happy voice. And, Mary, I'll ne'er believe that flower, star, or sun can ever be so bright as thee, my true, my gentle one. Song of the Haymakers by Eliza Cook. The noontide is hot, and our foreheads are brown, our palms are all shining and hard. Right close is our work with wain and the fork, and but poor is our daily reward. But there's joy in the sunshine, and mirth in the lark that skims whistling away o'erhead. Our spirits are light, though our skins may be dark, and there's peace with our meal of brown bread. We dwell in the meadows, we toil on the sward, far away from the city's dull gloom. And more jolly are we, though on wrecks we may be, and the pale faces over the loom. When the song and the cheer for the bonny green stack climb up to the sun wide and high, for the pitchers and rakers and merry haymakers and the beautiful midsummer sky. Come forth, gentle ladies, come forth, dear desires, and lend us your presence awhile. Your garments will gather no stain from the birds, and the freckle won't tarnish your smile. Our carpets more soft for your delicate feet, and the pile of your velveted floor. And the air for our balm swath is surely as sweet as the perfume of Araby shore. Come forth, noble masters, come forth to the field, where freshness and health may be found, where the windrose is spread for the butterfly's bed, and the clover bloom falleth around. When the song and the cheer for the bonny green stack climbing up to the sun wide and high, for the pitchers and rakers and merry haymakers and the beautiful midsummer sky. Out fast, cries the Burgooner, loudly and quick, and then comes the hearty Gee-woo, while the cunning old team horses meant to pick a sweet mouthful to munch as they go. The tawny-faced children come around us to play, and bravely they scatter the heap, till the tiniest one, all outspent with the fun, is curled up with the sheep-dog asleep. Old age sitteth down on the haycocks fair grown at the close of our labouring day, and wishes his life, like the grass at his feet, may be pure at its passing away. When a song and a cheer for the bonny green stack, climbing up to the sun wide and high, for the pitchers and rakers and merry haymakers and the beautiful midsummer sky. Song of a Modern Time by Eliza Cook. On, how the world has altered since some 50 years ago, when boots and shoes would really serve to keep out rain and snow. But double soles and broadcloth, oh dear me, how very low, to talk of such old-fashioned things, when everyone must know that we are well-bred gentlefolks all of the modern time. We all meet now at midnight hour and form a glittering throng, where lovely angels polk and waltz and chaunt a German song, where nice young men, with fierce moustache, trip menacing along, and the name of a good old country dance would sound like a Chinese gong in the ears of well-bred gentlefolks all of the modern time. Your beardless boys all brag a noise must do the thing that's right, that is, they'll drink champagne and chump and keep it up all night. They'll smoke and swear till, sallying forth at peep of morning light, they knock down some old woman just to show how well they fight, like brave young English gentlemen all of the modern time. At the good old hours of 12 and 1, our grandsires used to dine, and quaff the horns of nut-brown ale, and eat roast beef and shin. But we must have our silver forks to goose and fawn wine, and not sit down till 5 or 6 if we mean to cut a shine, like dashing well-bred gentlefolks all of the modern time. Our daughters, now 10 years old, must learn to squall and strum, and study shakes and quavers under Signor Fee-Foo-Fum. We play concertos, sing bravuras, rattle, scream, and trum, till you almost wish that you were deaf, and they, poor things, were dumb. But they must be like young gentlefolks all of the modern time. Our sons must jabber Latin verbs and talk of a Greek root, before they've left off tunic skirts, cakes, lollipops, and fruit. They all have splendid talents at the desk or bar would suit each darling boy would scorn to be a low mechanic brute. They must be well-bred college men all of the modern time. But bills will come at Christmas-tide, alas, alack-a-day, the creditors may call again, papa's not in the way. He's out of town, but certainly next week he'll call and pay. And then his name's in the Gazette, and this I mean to say of wins up many gentlefolks all of the modern time. Song of a Rejected One by Eliza Cook. Perchance, fair, high-born girl, yon felt ashamed of the young, dotard slave who dared so much. Yet, Mabel, you might as well have blamed the lute for giving music at your touch. For you had gazed on me with tenderness, till my devoted eyes made yours their shrine, and you had spoken words to thrill and bless a spirit far less wrapped in dreams than mine. Or you should not have wondered that my soul grew sentient with a wild and gushing tone. You roused an echo I could not control, that my heart was not cold men than stone. It throbbed and burned with the undying flame which heaven has sent as nature's beacon light. I read no human language but your name, I knew no life but when within your sight. I plead my pencil but to win your praise, I sang my rhyme songs only for your ear, where footsteps ever followed on your ways, seeking yon when the far, trembling the near. Like a rich Harp vine did you grow o'er me, most beautiful to my enchanted view, while I, poor fool, dreamt not that you could be like that fair-seeming vine as bitter too. I went on loving with unheeding zeal, strong as a martyr, fervent as a saint. The morning and the evening saw me kneel with prayers for your prayers, neither few nor faint. At last, beneath your favourite cedar tree, where summer moons had often found us both, I stammered forth that love just as the sea may pour its might and depth in broken froth. You laughed, Lord, you laughed in scornful glee, called me vain boy, and bade a light farewell. That laugh, like earthquake rumble, could it be? It came again, and my heart's city fell. It's over, you shall not hear me sigh, nor see a shadow steal upon my face. The vain boy will not bow his head and die. Hope has departed, pride must take its place. Yet, Mabel Lee, I feel that you will cling about my future with a blighting power. Lady, it would be a bitter thing to be my poison drop from such a flower. Wide seas will be between us, years will pass, but years will fail in what we often do. Time's misty breath will never dim the glass where passion, truth, and joy have mirrored you. You've changed the vain boy to a grey old man, the sapling has become a stricken tree. Yet my life's dream will end as it began, and find its first, last laugh with Mabel Lee. Song of a Sailor Boy by Eliza Cook. Cheer up, my mother dear. Ah, why do you sit and weep? Do you think that he who guards me here forsakes me on the deep? Let hope and fate light up your glance when you see your ship set sail. Look at her now and see her dance. Oh, why do you turn so pale? With an English flag and an English crew, so mother be proud of your boy in blue. I wonder not that next to thee I love a galloping wave. That's the first of courses, bold and free, and fit to carry the brave. It may bear me unto a dark lee shore to sing with the gallant band, but early or late here's a heart for my fate, let it come on the sea or the land. The storm, the battle shall find me true, so mother be proud of your boy in blue. And if the breakers kill our ship, and your boy goes down in the foam, be sure the last breath on his lip was a prayer for woes at home. But come, cheer up, methinks I heard a voice in the anchor chain that whispered like a fairy bird, the ship will come again. God bless thee, mother, adieu, but never weep for your boy in blue. Song of the Sea Gulls by Eliza Cook. Birds of the land, ye may carol and fly over the golden corn neath the harvest sky. Your portion's fair mid fields and flowers, but it is not so broad or so free as ours. Ye are content with the groves and the hills, ye feed in the valleys and drink at the rills. But what are the joys of the forest and plain to those we find on the fresh white main? Birds of the land, ye rear your broods in the lofty tree or tangled woods, that the branch may be reft by the howling wind or the prowling schoolboys seek and find. But we roost high on the beetling rock that firmly stands the hurricane shock. Our callow young may rest in at home where no shot can reach and no footstep come. Birds of the land, ye shrink and hide as the tempest cloud spreads black and white. Your songs are hushed and cowering fear as the starting thunder clap breaks near. But the brave gull soars while the deluge pours, while the stout ship groans and the keen blast roars. Oh, the seagull leads the gayest life, while the storm-fiend wage the fiercest strife. We lightly skim o'er the breakers' dash, where timbers strike with parting crash. We play round the dark hull, sinking fast, and find a perch on the tottering mast. More loud and glad is our shrieking note as the planks and spars of a wrecked bark float. Where live we in revelling glee, with the whistling gale and raging sea. We are not caught and caged to please with fondled hearse of wealth and ease. The hands of beauty never come with soft caress or dainty crumb. We are not the creatures of petted love, we have not the fame of a lark or dove, but our screaming tone rings harsh and wild to glad the ears of a fisher's child. He hears our pinions flapping by, and follows our track with wistful eye, as we leave the clouds of rapid whirl to dive neath the water's sweeping curl. He laughs to see us plunge and lave, while the northern gale is waking the wave, and dances about mid sand and spray to mimic the sea gulls' merry play. We hold our course of the deep, or the land, our swelling tide, a weed-crowned strand. We are safe and joyous when mad waves roll, we sport over the whirlpool, the rock and the shoal. And way on the winds we plumb our wings, and soar, the freest of all free things. Oh, the seagull leads the merry life in the glassy calm or tempest strife. Song of the Worm by Eliza Cook. The worm, the rich worm, has a noble domain in the field that is stored with its millions of slain. The charnel grounds widen, to me they belong, with the walls of sepulchred and straw. The tower of ages in fragments is laid, moss grows on the stones, and I lurk in its shade. And the hand of a giant and heart of a brave must turn weak and submit to the worm and the grave. Daughters of earth, if I happen to meet your bloom-plucking fingers and sod-treating feet, or toil not away with a shriek of disgust on the thing you must mate with in darkness and dust. Your eyes may be flashing in pleasure and pride, neath the crown of a queen or the wreath of a bride. Your lips may be fresh and your cheeks may be fair, let a few years pass over and I shall beware. Cities of splendor, their palace and gate, where the marble of strength and the purple of state. Where the mart and arena, the olive and wine, once flushed in glory, oh, are ye not mine? Go look for famed Carthage, and I shall be found in the desolate ruin and wet-covered mound, and the slime of my trailing discovers my home, with the pillars of Tyre and the temples of Rome. I am sacredly sheltered and daintily fed, where the velvet decks and the white lawn is spread. I may feast undisturbed, I may dwell and carouse on the sweetest of lips and the smoothest of brows. The voice of a sexton, the chink of a spade, sob merrily under the willow's dank shade, where carnival notes and I travel with glee to learn what the churchyard has given to me. Oh, the worm, the rich worm, has a noble domain, for the monarchs are voiceless, I revel and reign, I delve at my ease and regale where I may, and is food with worm in his will or his way, for high in the pride for my feasting must fall, youth, beauty, and manhood, I pray on you all. The prince and the peasant, the despot and slave, all almost bowed down to the worm and the grave. Spring by Eliza Cook. Welcome, all hail to thee, welcome, young spring. The sun-ray is bright on the butterfly's wing, beauty shines forth in the blossom-wrapped trees, perfume floats by on the soft southern breeze. Music, sweet music, sounds over the earth, one glad choral song greets the primrose's birth. The lark soars above, with its shrill maiden strain, the shepherd boy tunes his reed pipe on the plain. Music, sweet music, cheers meadow and lea, and the song of a blackbird, the hum of a bee. The loud, happy laugh of the children at play proclaims how we worship spring's beautiful day. The eye of a halloo one, with joy in its gleam, looks up in the noontide and steals from the beam, and the cheek of a pale one is marked with despair, to feel itself fading when all is so fair. The hedges, luxuriant with flowers and balm, are purple with violets and shaded with palm. The sapphire-kissed grass is beginning to wave, fresh verdure is decking the garden and grave. Welcome, all hail to thee, heart-stirring May, was the one from a wild harp a rapturous lay, and the last dying murmur that sleeps on the string is welcome. All hail to thee, welcome, young spring. Stanzas to the Young by Eliza Cook. Long hath the wisest lips confessed that minstrel ones are far from wrong, who point at moral in a jest, or yield a sermon in a song. So be it, listen ye who will, and though my harp be roughly strung, yet never shall its lightest thrill offend the old or taint the young. Mark me, I ne'er presume to teach the man of wisdom, grey and sage. 'Tis to the growing I would preach from mortal text and simple page. First I would abide thee cherished truth, its leading star in virtue's train, Follow me past, nor tarnish youth, but forth that leaves a poison stain. Keep watch, nor let the burning tide of impulse break from all control. The best of hearts needs pilot guide to steer it clear from error's shoal. One wave of passion's boiling flood may all the sea of life disturb, and steeds of good but fiery blood will rush on death without a curb. Think on the course ye fain would run, and moderate the wild desire. This many a one would drive the sun only to set the world on fire. Slight not the one of honest worth, because no star adorns his breast. The lark soars highest from the earth, yet ever leaves the lowest nest. Heed but the beginning of a tree, and if a year holds some fruit, a shallow, envious fool see, who spurns it for its forest root. Let fair humanity be thine, to fellow man and meanest brute. This nobly taught, the cowards divine, mercy is God's chief attribute. The coward wretch whose hand and heart can bear to torture aught below, is ever first to quail and start from slightest pain or equal foe. Be not ready to condemn the wrong thy brothers may have done, ere ye too harshly censure them for human faults ask, have I none? Live that the young and glowing breast can think of death without a sigh, and be assured that life is best, which finds us least afraid to die. Summer is Nigh, by Eliza Cook. Richest of perfumes and jewels are mine, while the dog roses blow and the dew-spangled shine, and the softest of music is awakened for me by the stream or the pebble, the wind in the tree. Nature, kind mother, my heart is content with the beauty and mirth thou hast lavishly sent. Sweet summer is nigh, and my spirit leaps high as the sun travels further along the blue sky. If I murmur, it is that my home is not made, mid the flowers and drops in the green coppice shade. If I sigh, 'tis to think that my steps cannot stray with the breeze and the brook on their wandering way. Nature, kind mother, I long to behold all the glories thy blossom-ringed fingers unfold. None like thee can I meet, for all others will cheat, with a portion of bitter disguised in the sweet. The earth, the white earth, will be beautiful soon, with the cherry bloom breath and the nightingale's tune. And the dreams without sleep, with strange magic will come, where the wood pigeons coo and the heavy bees hum. O nature, kind mother, it is only thy breast that can nurse my deep feeling and lull it to rest. For my soul is too proud to be telling aloud what to thee it can utter, all weeping and bowed. I see the ripe buds on the wide-spreading bough, soon they will shadow my thought-laden brow. I see the bright primroses burst where I stand, and I love like a child as they drip in my hand. Nature, kind mother, thou hearest me breath, my devotion to elders the wild flowers breath. None other knows how my warm bosom glows as I watch the young daisy fringe open and close. I see the blue violets peep from the bank, I praise the Creator, I bless and I thank. And the gossamer insect that playing the beam is an atom that bids me adore the supreme. Nature, kind mother, my heart is content with the beauty and mirth thou hast lavishly sent. Sweet summer is nigh, and my spirit leaps high as the sun travels further along the blue sky. Summer's Farewell, by Eliza Cook. What sound is that? Summer's farewell, the breath of a night wind sighing. The chill breeze comes like a sorrowful dirge, and wails of the dead and the dying. The sapless leaves are heading around on the path which we lately shaded. The oak of the forest is losing its robe, the flowers have fallen and faded. All that I look on but saddens my heart, to think that the lovely so soon should depart. Yet why should I sigh? Other summers will come, joys like the past one bringing, again will the vine bear its blushing fruit, again will the birds be singing. The forest will put forth its honours again, a rose be as sweet in its breathing. Woodland will climb round, the lattice pane is wide and rich in its riffing. Bees will have honey, the bees will hum, other flowers will spring, other summers will come. We will, but who can tell if it may live on till their coming? The spirit may sleep too soundly then to wake with a warbling or humming. This cheek, now pale, may be paler far when the summer sun next is glowing. The cherishing rays may gild with light the grass on my grave turf growing. And what is changed in my spirit's dream may there be ere the summer sun next shall beam. The Banner of Union, by Eliza Cook. Bring the harp of the west and the pipes of the north, and a trumpet note calls to the field. Let the men of old Scotia and Erin come forth, and our foemen shall see who must yield. Side by side in the battle, like granite we'll stand, with the will and the might none shall sever. For glory or death, we will twine in our wreath, rose, shamrock, and thistle for ever. Our banner of union shall float in the wind over hearts that have never yet quailed. A sword shall be drawn and the banner be borne by hands that have never yet failed. Sons of Heather, your fame in the fight is as old as your glens and your valleys. Men of Hibernia, let right ask for might, and where's the spirit but rallies? Side by side in the battle, like granite we'll stand, with a will and a might none shall sever. For glory or death, we will try in one riff, rose, shamrock, and thistle forever. The Bird in the Storm by Eliza Cook. The summer noon was soft and fair as the face of a sleeping child. The roses dropped in the stirless air, and earth in its beauty seemed to wear the garb of the undefiled. The golden sun was flashing out, and the reaper tied the sheaf. The bee went heavenly about, and the fine old tree, so tall and stout, moved not its topmost leaf. A blackbird, perched on that old tree, kept whistling clear and loud. Its little heart, brimful of glee, seemed running o'er with joy to be in a spot without a cloud. All things were beautiful and still in the flush of gladsome light, and the bird with many a gushing trill seemed pouring thanks to the power and will that made its home to bring. But ere another hour was past, the thunder scope was round, the chilling rain poured cold and fast, and the old tree bent in the sudden blast with a dull and moaning sound. The flowers fell in their deluged bed, the glory stained with clay. The corn lay down and the reapers fled, the hardiest pilgrim hid his head, and gloom was over the day. But there was the blackbird still in the tree, with its pair not yet done. It caroled away in its earnest glee, as though it were sure that God must be in the shadow as well as the sun. Its wings were drenched and the bough was wet, no ray was below or above, but it shook its dripping feathers off yet, and hopefully resting, it caroled yet in the tone of grateful love. I watched the clouds, and I saw the bird as it whistled on the bough, and the lesson came, the notes I heard, the spirit in my heart was stirred, and thoughts set on my brow. I whispered thus, "O, child of earth, learn thou to sing with trust, not only in the hour of mirth, but when the sorrowing time of dearth may lay the joys in dust. The gloom may gather in your way, yet let your faith be warm, and while the mingling thunders play, let the heart still pour forth its fervent lay, the blackbird of life's storm." The Brave by Eliza Cook. For whom are your gifts? For the cowardly one who would strike in the dark and steal back in the sun? For the felon who never hath used his right hand, but to injure his brothers and merit the brand? Go, fetter the traitor and dastardly spy, let them joyously live and despairingly die. Their guerdon ride well with the doom of a slave, but the wave of your chains on thee, honestly brave. Could a Wallace or Washington, spirits divine, live on as the captured to languish and pine? Should earth show a wall as the dungeon of such, awed like a feather profaned with its touch? No, no, when the destiny woven by fate gives us power to trample and vanquish the great. Strike, strike in pure mercy, to torture, to save, fell at once, but oh, forge not a link to the brave. The lion may yield, let him sink, let him bleed, but seek not to tame him, to bind and to lead. Launch thy barb, bring the proud eagle down from his swoop, but a curse on the hand that would build him a coop. A gift not a noble one trembles to wear, till the heartstrings are snapped by the pressure they bear. Let him fall like the free, give him death and a grave, but never, in mercy, place chains on the brave. The Christmas Holly by Eliza Cook. The holly, outwined with the bay. Come, give the holly a song, for it helps to drive stern winter away. With its garments so sombre and long, it peeps through the trees with its berries of red, and its leaves of burnished green, and the flowers and fruits have long been dead, and not even the daisy is seen. And sing to the holly, the Christmas holly, that hangs over pageant and king, while we laugh and carouse 'neath its glittering boughs, to the Christmas holly we'll sing. The gale may whistle, and frost may come, to fetter the gurgling rill. The woods may be bare, and the warblers dumb, but the holly is beautiful still. In the revel and light of princely halls, the bright holly branch is found, and its shadow falls on the loudest walls, as the brimming horn goes round. Then drink to the holly, the Christmas holly, that hangs over pageant and king, while we laugh and carouse 'neath its glittering boughs, to the Christmas holly we'll sing. The ivy lives long, but its home must be where graves and ruins are spread. There's beauty above the suppressed tree, but it flourishes near the dead. The laurel the warrior's brow may have, but it tells of tears and blood. I sing the holly, and who can breath aught of that is not good? Then sing to the holly, the Christmas holly, that hangs of a passionate king, while we laugh and carouse 'neath its glittering boughs, to the Christmas holly we'll sing. The Churchyard Stile by Eliza Cook. I left thee young and gay, Mary, when last the fawn was white. I went upon my way, Mary, and all the world seemed bright. For though my love had ne'er been told, yet I saw thy form beside me in the midnight watch, above me in the storm. And many a blissful dream I had that brought thy gentle smile, just as it came when last you leaned upon the churchyard stile. I'm here to seek thee now, Mary, as all I love the best, to fondly tell thee how, Mary, I fit thee in my breast. I came to yield thee up my heart with hope and truth and joy, and crowned with manhood's honest faith the feelings of a boy. I breathed thy name, but every pulse grew still and cold the while I was told thou were asleep, just by the churchyard stile. The messmates deemed me brave, Mary, upon the sinking ship, while flowers out of her grave, Mary, have power to blanch my lip. I held no throb of quailing fear amid the wrecking surf, but pale and weak I tremble here upon the oyster turf. Came to meet thy happy face, and woo thy gleesome smile, only find thy resting place close by the churchyard stile. Years may pass away, Mary, and so lose its sting. Time's kind, we say, Mary, and flies with healing wing. Word may make me older wise, and hope may have new birth, and other joys and other ties may link me to the earth, but memory, living to the last, shall treasure up thy smile, and call me back to find thy grave close to the churchyard stile. The Dark and Rugged Mountain Steep by Eliza Cook. The dark and rugged mountain steep, the sloping emerald glade, the beamlet valley where vines may creep, the hair below in the shade, the towering hill, the shimmering rill, the fields and forest trees, he is blind who cannot find good company in these. I've seen the harvest sun pour down its rays on the rustling sheaf, till gold flashed out from the wheat ear brown, and flame from the poppy's leaf. I have heard the music the woods have made in deep and sullen roar, and the mighty winds of winter played on branches grey and hoar. I have seen the merry spring steal nigh, and my soul has leaped to meet the rainbow clouds that flitted on high, the daisy that kissed my feet. I've watched the slowly gathering gloom of mournful autumn throw its pensive shade on the dying bloom, like sorrow on beauty's brow. And though I have garnered little of light from learning's glorious store, these have taught God's mercy and might, and who can teach me more? My spirit has glowed, the rapt, the blest, flushed with a fervent zeal that may gush from the eyes and burn in the breast, but the weak lips ne'er reveal. The giant rock, the lowliest flower, can lead to him above, and bid me worship the hand of power, of mystery and love. Does my heart grow proud? I need but turn to nature, and confess the Maker's greatness, shrink and learn my own unworthiness. The Dead by Eliza Cook. When the clear red sun goes down, passing in glory away, and night is spreading a twilight frown on the open brow of day, when the faintest glimmering trace is gone, and all of light is fled, then does memory, sad and lone, call back the dear ones dead. And the harp's soul-touching chord is roughly frayed and torn, when of old tones the string that poured the fullest is outworn, when it is heard to breathe and break its latest magic shed, then will my warm heart bleed and ache, and weep for the kind ones dead. And the elm's rich leaf is seen losing its freshness fast, and paleness steals on its vivid green as the autumn wind moans past, when it eddies to the cold damp ground, or crushed beneath a tree, then may the sigh on my lip be found for a muse on the fair ones dead. For like that orb of light, that caught in shining leaf, forms were once near as rare and bright, and our their stay as brief, I watched them fading, I saw them sink, light, beauty, sweetness fled, and a type of their being bids me think too fondly of the dead. The sun will rise again, the string may be replaced, the tree will bloom, but the laughing the doom lays the world forever waste. Let earth yield all the joys it may, still should I bow my head, Still would my lonely breathing say, give me back the dead. As the thickest verdure springs from the ashes of decay, and the living ivy closest clings to the ruins cold and grey, so my feelings most intense and deep, by the shrouded and lost are fed, so my thoughts will yearn, and my spirit turn, to be nurtured by the dead. The Deck of the Outward Bound by Eliza Cook. How seldom we dream of the mariner's graves, far down by the coral strand. How little we think of the winds and the waves, when all we love are on land. The hurricane comes when the hurricane goes, and little the heed we take, though the tree may snap as the tempest blows, and the walls of our homestead shake. But the north-east gale tells a different tale, with a voice of tearful sound, and a loved one is under a close-reefed sail on the deck of an outward bound. How wistfully then we look on the night, as the threatening clouds go by, as the wind gets up and the last faint light is dying away in the sky. How we listen and gaze with a silent lip, and judge by the bending tree, how the same wild gush must toss the ship and arouse the mighty sea. Ah, sadly then do we meet the day when the signs of storm are found, and pray for the loved one far away on the deck of an outward bound. There's one that cherished when hand in hand we roved o'er lowland and lea, and I thought my love for that one on the land was as earnest as love could be. But now the one has gone out on the tide, I find that I worship the more, and I think of the waters deep and wide as I bask with the flowers on shore. I've watched the wind, I've watched the stars, and shrunk from the tempest sound. For my heartstrings are reft with the slender spars that carry the outward bound. I've slept when the sapphire forgot to creep, and the sky was without a throne, but I started soon from that fitful sleep with a dream of a ship going down. I have sat in the field when the corn was in shock, and the reaper's hook was bright, but many fancy conjured the breaker and rock in the dead of a moonless night. I never will measure affection again by treating earth's flowery mound, but wait till the loved one is far on the main on the deck of an outward bound. The Dewdrop by Eliza Cook. The sky hath its star, the deep mine hath its gem, and the beautiful pearl lights the sea. But the surface of earth holds a rival for them, and a lustre more brilliant for me. I know of a drop that the diamond now shines, now the blue of a sapphire it gives. It trembles, it changes, the azure resigns, and the tint of a ruby now lives. And in the deep emerald dwells in its gleam, till the breath of a south wind goes by. Then it quivers again, and the flash of its beam pours a topaz flame swift on the eye. Look, look, on yon grass blade all freshly impearled. There are all of our jewels in one. You'll find every wealth-purchased gem in the world in the dewdrop that's kissed by the sun. Apollo's own circlet is matchless, they say. Juno envies its sparkles and light, for 'tis formed of drops lit by its own burning ray, and Olympus shows nothing so bright. The Dog of the Alps by Eliza Cook. The hero lives on the pages of story, though blood drops may sully the words that record. His bust shall be crowned with a chaplet of glory, the hand shall be honored that rests on the sword. But there's one whose good deeds are scarce noted by any, the field of his valour, the ice-covered scalps. 'Tis the dumb and the faithful, the saviour of many, the brave and the beautiful Dog of the Alps. With his mission of mercy right onward he'll hurry, no wild, howling storm-burst shall turn him aside. While the tottering avalanche threaten to bury, and the airy sleet shower bristle his height, we drink health to the bold one, whose strong arm has wrested the perishing form from the billowy grave. But the laurel is due to the dog who has breasted the winding sheet found in the snow-drifted wave. Through the fearful ravin, when the thick flakes are falling, o'er peaks where the cutting wind curdles his breath, he wends his lone way with a wallet-strapped galling to seek the lost pilgrim and snatch him from death. Where the traveller lies, with his parting breath sighing some name that he loves in a tremulous prayer, the Dog of the Alps comes with life to the dying, with warmth to the frozen, and hope to despair. It is not ambition that leads him to danger. He toils for no trophy, he seeks for no fame. He faces all peril and succours the strangers, but asks not the wide world to blazon his name. 'Twould be well if the great ones, to boast of their reason, would copy his work on the winter-bound scalps, and cherish the helpless in south's bleak season, like the brave and the beautiful dog of the Alps. The English Ship by Moonlight by Eliza Cook. The world below hath not for me such a fair and glorious sight as an English ship on a rippling sea in the full moon's placid light. My heart leaps high as I fix my eye on her dark and sweeping hull, laying its breast on the billowy nest like the tired sleeping gull. The masts spring up, all tall and bold, with their heads among the stars. The white sails gleam, and the silvery beam braid up to the branching spars. The wind just breathing to unroll a flag that bears no stain, proud ship that needeth never scroll to warn the right on the main. The sea-boy, hanging on the shrouds, chants out his fitful song, and watches the scud of fleecy clouds that melts as it floats along. Oh, what is there on the sluggard land that they love so well to mark in the hallowed light of a still midnight as they do a dancing bark? The ivied tower looks well in that hour, and so does an old church spire, when the gilded vane and Gothic pane seem tinged with quivering fire. The hills shine out in the mellow ray, the love-bow gather a charm, and beautiful is the quattering play on the willow's graceful arm. But the world below holds not for me such a fair and glorious sight as a brave ship floating on the sea in the full moon's placid light. The Englishman by Eliza Cook. There's a land that bears a world-known name, though it is but a little spot. I say 'tis first on the scroll of fame, and who shall say it not? Of the deathless ones who shine and live in arms and arts or song, the brightest the whole wide world can give to that little land below. 'Tis the star of earth, deny it who can, the island home of an Englishman. There's a flag that waves o'er every sea, no matter when or where, and to treat that flag as aught but the free is more than the strongest dare. For the lion spirits that tread the deck have carried the palm of a brave, and that flag may sink with a shot on wreck, but never float over a slave. Its honor is stainless, deny it who can, and this is the flag of an Englishman. There's a heart that leaps with burning glow, the wronged and the weak to defend, and strikes as soon for trampled foe as it does for a soul-bound friend. It nurtures a deep and honest love, it glows with faith and pride, and yearns with the fondness of a dove to the light of its own fireside. 'Tis a rich, rough gem, deny it who can, and this is the heart of an Englishman. The Briton may traverse the pole or the zone, and boldly claim his right, for he calls such a vast domain his own, that the sun never sets on his mind. Let the haughty stranger seek to know the place of his home and birth, and the flush will pour from cheek to brow, while he tells his native earth. For a glorious charter, deny it who can, is breathed in the words, I'm an Englishman. The Fairy of the Sea by Eliza Cook. There's a frigate on the waters, fit for battle, storm or sun. She dances like a lifeboat, while she carries flag and gun. I'm rich and blessed while I can call that gallant craft my own. I'm king on her, and Jove himself may keep his crown and throne. She'll stand the billows mountain high, or skim the moonlit spray. She'll take a blow and face a foe like a lion turned at bay. But ere may try, she'll stand the test, the brave, the staunch, the free. She bears the name of stainless fame, the Fairy of the Sea. The gale is up, she feels the breath, the petrel is behind. She travels through the white foam like an arrow on the wind. Softly, softly, hold her in, let her slacken in her pace. She'll do the pilot's bidding with a greyhound's gentle grace. The rocks are round her, what of that? She turns them like a swan. The boiling breakers roar, but she is safely creeping on. Hurrah, hurrah, she's clear again, more canvas, helm a lee. Away she bounds, like deer from hounds, the Fairy of the Sea. I've met with life's rough weather squalls, and run on shoals ashore. All past me under scudding sails, and friends with friends no more. Not when the storm fiend did its worst, and blanched the firmest crew, nor timber yawned, nor cordage broke, my bark was true. We've lived together, closely bound, too long to lightly part. I love her like a living thing, she's anchored in my heart. But death must come, and come he may, right welcome he shall be, so that I sleep on fathom steep in the ferry of the sea. The Firemen of the Land, by Eliza Cook. England, thou art justly proud of a man so tried and brave. Well thy voice may boast aloud of our boatmen on the wave. Gallant fellows, well they grace British song and hero story, they who take a foremost place and valor counts their troops of glory. But our cities long have shown, those that match their sailor band, couch nobly claims their own in the Firemen of the Land. Give them honour, give them fame, I have two hands that fight the flame. When the red sheet winds and whirls in the coil of fitful death, when the bannered smoke unfurls and the hot walls drink our breath, when the far-off crowd appears, choking in the demon glare, and some helpless form uprears in the furnace of despair, "Save, oh, save!" the people cry, but who plucks the human brand? Who will do the deed or die? 'Tis the Firemen of the Land. Then give them honour, give them fame, I have two hands that fight the flame. They who march to battlefield with the bullet and the sword, they who go to take or yield life upon the crimson sword, they who measure blade to blade, they who offer shot for shot, with a heart that's ne'er afraid, with a courage free from blood, let such spirits ever live foremost in a nation's band. But this noble rank we'll give to the Firemen of the Land. Then yield them honour, give them fame, and drink to hands that fight the flame. The Fisher Boat, by Eliza Cook. Now reefer struts upon her deck, now boatswain pipes a crew, whose rough and tarry jackets are as often brown as blue. Her sails are torn, her timbers worn, she's but a crazy craft, yet luck betides her in the gale, and plenty crows her draught. Let but a foe insult the land that holds the cottage home, and English hearts will spring from out the merry little foam. What, away we go, the moon is high and bright, Godspeed the little fisher boat, and grant a starry night. No pennon flutters at her mast, no portal holds arranged her side. A dusky speck, she takes her place upon the midnight tea, while gaily sings some happy boy, alive upon the sea, with jolly mates, a whiskey can, and trusty nets for me. But many an hour of fearful risk she meets upon the wave, with ships of stout and giant form would scarcely care to brave, and many one with trembling hand will trim the beacon light and cry, Godspeed the fisher boat upon a stormy night. We proud thee, Lord, the daring ones across the pathless main, the shining gem and yellow dust of other climes to gain. We honour those whose blood is with the mingled waters found, who fight till death to guard the cliffs whose waters circle round. 'Tis well, but let us not forget the poor and gallant set, who toil and watch, when others sleep, to cast a heavy net. The perils are not paid by fame, so trim the beacon light, and cry, Godspeed the fisher boat, and grant a starry night. The Fisher Boy Joyily Lives, by Eliza Cook. Merrily, oh, the nets are spread out to the sun. Merrily, oh, the fisher boy sings, right glad that his labour is done. Happy and gay, with his boat in the bay, the storm and the danger forgot. The wealthy and great might repine at their state, and envy the fisher boy's lot. Merrily, oh, this is the burden he gives. Cheerily, oh, though the blast may blow, the fisher boy joyily lives. Merrily, oh, he sleeps till the morning breaks. Merrily, oh, at the sea gulls scream, the fisher boy quickly awakes. Down on the strand he is plying his hand, his shouting is heard again. The clouds are dark, but he springs to his bark with the same light-hearted strain. Merrily, oh, this is the burden he gives. Cheerily, oh, though the blast may blow, the fisher boy joyily lives. The Flag of the Free, by Eliza Cook. 'Tis a streamer of England, it floats o'er the brave. 'Tis the fairest unfurled o'er the land of the wave. But though brightest in story and matchless in fight, 'tis a herald of mercy as well as of might. In the cause of the wronged may it ever be first, when tyrants are humbled and fetters are burst. Be justice, the war shout, and destined is he who would scruple to die 'neath the flag of the free. It may trail over the halyards a bullet-torn wreck, or flutter in shreds from the battlement crack. Let the shot whistle through it as fast as it may, till it sweep the last glorious tatter away. what matter? We'd hoist the blue jacket on high, our soldier's red sash from the spearhead should fly. Though it were but a ribbon the foeman should see, the proud signal, and on it the flag of the free. Had we ever looked out from a far foreign shore to mark the gay pennon each passing ship bore, and watched every speck that rose on the foam in hope of glad tidings from country and home? As our straining eye caught the laughed colours at last, and seen the dear bark bounding on to us fast, then, whenever our hearts learned how precious can be the fair stream of England, the flag of the free. The Forest Trees by Eliza Cook. Up with your heads, ye sylvan lords, wave proudly in the breeze, for our cradle bands and coffin boards must come from the forest trees. We bless ye for your summer shade, when our weak limbs fail and tire. Our thanks are due for your winter aid, and we pile the bright log fire. Or where would be our rule on the sea, and the fame of a sailor bound, were it not for the oak and cloud-crowned pine that spring on the quiet land? When the ribs and masts of a good ship live, and the weather of a gale with ease take his glass from the tar, who will not give a health to the forest trees? Ye lend to life its earliest joy, and wait on its latest page, and the circling hop for the rosy boy, and the easy chair for age. The old man totters on his way with footsteps short and slow, but without the stick for his help and stay, not a yard's length could he go. The hazel twig in the stripling's hand have magic power to please, and the trusty staff and slender wand are plucked from the forest trees. He is seen in the shape of a blessed plough and the merry-ringing flail. Ye shine in the dome of a monarch's home and the scattered alpha rail. And the rustic pork, the panelled wall, and the gay triumphal car, and the rude-built hut of a banquet hall, no matter where ye are. Then up with your heads, ye sylvan lords, wave proudly in the breeze. From our cradle bands to our coffin boards, we in debt to the forest trees. The Free by Eliza Cook. The wild streams leap with headlong sweep, and their curbless course over the mountain steep. All fresh and strong they foam along, waking the rocks with their cataract song. My eye bears a glance like the beam on a lance, while I watch the waters dash and dance. I burn with glee, for I love to see the path of anything that's free. The skylark springs with dew on his wings, and up in the arc of heaven he sings, Trilla, trilla-o, sweeter far than the notes that come through a golden bar. The joyous bay of a haunted play, the core of a rock on its homeward way. Of these shall be the music for me, for love voices offer free. The deer starts by with his antlers high, proudly tossing his head to the sky. The barb runs the plain, unbroke by the rain, with steaming nostrils and flying mane. The clouds are stirred by the eaglet bird, as the flap of its swooping pinions is heard. All these shall be the creatures for me, for my soul was formed to love the free. The mariner brave and spark on the wave may laugh at the walls round a kingly slave, and the one whose lot is the desert spot has no dread of an envious foe in his court. The frelon state of a palace gate are what my spirit has learned to hate. All the hills shall be a home for me, for it leave a throne for the hut of a free. The Future by Eliza Cook. It was good, it was kind, and the wise one above, to fling destiny's veil o'er the face of our years, that you dread not the blow which shall strike at our love, and expect not the beams that shall dry up our tears. Did we know that the voices, now gentle and bland, will forego the fond word and the whispering tone? Did we know that the cager and warm-pressed hand will be joyful forward in casting the stone? Did we know the affection engrossing our soul will end, as it oft does, in sadness and pain? That the passionate breast will but hazard its rest, and be wrecked on the shore it is panting to gain? Oh, did we but know the shadows are nigh, the world would indeed be a prison of gloom. Oh, light would be quenched in youth's eloquent eye, and the prayer-lisp infant would ask for the tomb. For if hope be a star that may lead us astray, and deceiveth the heart as the ages once preach, yet 'twas mercy that gave it to beacon our way, though its halo illumes where we never can reach. Though friendship but flit like a meteor gleam, though it burst like a moonlighted bubble of dew, though it passes away like a leaf on the stream, yet 'tis bliss while we fancy the vision is true. 'Tis well that the future's hid from our sight, that we walk in the sunshine, nor dream of a cloud, that we cherish a flower and think not of bliss, that we dance in the loom that may weave us a shroud. It was good, it was kind, and the wise one above, to fling destiny's veil over the face of our years. And we dread not the blow that should strike at our laugh, and expect not the beams that shall dry up our tears. The Gallant English Tar by Eliza Cook. There's one whose fearless courage yet has never failed in fight, who guards with zeal our country's weal, our freedom and our right. But though his strong and ready arm spreads havoc in its blow, cry, "Quarter!" and that arm will be the first to spare its foe. Recks not of woe, proud glory's shout may be the knell of death, the triumph won, though to sigh he yields his parting breath. He spreads boast and claims toast. In peace, my boys, or war, here's to the brave upon the wave, the gallant English tar. Let but the sons of want come nigh, and tell their tale to him. He'll chide their eyes for weeping, while his own are growing dim. Cheer up, he cries, we all must meet the storm as well as calm. But turning on his heel, Jack slips the duennas in their palm. He'll hear no long adoration, but tell you every man is born to act a brother's part, and do what good he can. He's Britain's boast, and claims a toast. In peace, my boys, or war, here's to the brave upon the wave, the gallant English tar. The dark blue jacket that enfolds the sailor's manly breast bears more of real honor than the star and ermine vest. The tiff of folly in his head may wake the landman's mirth, but nature proudly owns him as a child of sterling worth. His heart is warm, his hand is true, his work is frank and free. And though he plays the ass on shore, he's lion on the sea. He's Britain's boast and claims a toast. In peace, my boys, or war. Here's to the brave upon the wave, the gallant English tar. The heart that's true by Eliza Cook. Tell me not of sparkling gems set in rattle diadems. You may boast your diamonds rare, rubies bright and pearls so fair, but where's the peerless gem on earth, of richer ray and purer worth? 'Tis priceless, but is worn by few. It is the heart that's true. Bring the tulip and the rose, while their brilliant beauty glows. Let the storm cloud fling a shade, rose and tulip both will fade. But there's a flower which still is found when mist and darkness close around. Changeless, fateless in its hue, it is the heart that's true. Ardent in its earliest tie, faithful in its latest sigh, love and friendship, godlike pair, find their throne of glory there. Proudly scorning bride and thread, naught can break the seal once set. All the evil gold can do cannot wrap the heart that's true. First in freedom's cause to bleed, first in joy when slaves are freed, the hearts were true, and what could quell the might of Washington or Tell? Oh, where's one mortal shrine lighted up with rays divine? Seek it, yield the homage to you, defy the heart that's true. The King of the Wind by Eliza Cook. He burst through the ice-pillared gates of the north, and away on his hurricane wings he rushed forth. He exulted, all free in his might and his speed. He mocked at the lion and taunted the steed. He whistled along through each cranny and creek. He whirled o'er the mountains with hollow-toned shriek. The arrow and eagle were laggard behind, and alone in his flight sped the King of the Wind. He swept o'er the earth, the tall battlements fell, and he laughed as they crumbled with many a yell. A broad oak of a wood dared to wrestle again, till, wild in his fury, he snapped it in twain. It grappled with pyramids, works of an age, and dire records were left of his havoc and rage. No power could brave him, no fetters could bind. Supreme in his sway was the King of the Wind. He carried over waters with death and despair, wrecked the proud ship, and his triumph was rare. The cheeks that had blanched not at foeman or blade, at the sound of his breathing turned pale and afraid. He rocked the staunch lighthouse, he shivered the mast, he howled, the strong lifeboat in fragments was cast, and he roared in his glory. Where Where will you find a sport so great as the King of the Wind? The King's Old Hall by Eliza Cook. Few ages since, and wild echoes awoke in thy sweeping dome and panelling oak. Thy seats were filled with a princely band, ruler of men and lords of land. Loudly they raved, and gaily they laughed, over golden chalice and sparkling draught. And the glittering board and gem-studded plum proclaimed thee a monarch's revelling room. But now the spider is weaving his woof, making his loom of thy sculptured roof. The slug is leaving his slimy stain, trailing his way o'er the Gothic pane. Weeds have gathered and moss half grown on thy topmost ridge and lowest stone, and the wheeling bat comes flapping his wing on the walls that circle the banqueting king. The idle stare and vulgar treat may fall where the regal strain was spread. The gloomy owl may hide its nest, and the speckled lizards safely rest. Who were the revellers? Where are their forms? Go to the charnel and ask for worms. They are low in the dust, forgotten and past, and the pile race is following fast. O man, vain man, how futile your aim, when building your temples to pleasure and fame. Go work for heaven with faith and care, let good works secure thee a mansion there. For the palace of pageantry crumbles away, its beauty and strength are mocked by decay, and a voice from the desolate halls of kings cries, put not your trust in corrupted things. The Lily and the Stream by Eliza Cook. A lily cup was growing where the streamlet height was flowing, and rich with grace and beauty they had bent, and passed the whole day long in dancing to the song, with gurgling ripples murmured as they went. For rush and weed were there, the place was fresh and fair, and wellflats kissed the lily's tender leaf. The lily wooed the water, and drank the draught it brought her, and never wore a tint of blithering grief. A strong hand came and took the lily from the brook, and placed it in a painted vase of clay. But it might not be, and sad it was to see the suffering lily fade and pine away. The fountain drops of wealth ne'er nursed it into health, it never danced beneath the lighted doom, but woefully it sighed for the streamlet's gushing tide, and dropped in pain to miss its far-off home. Now human hearts be true, and tell me, are not you too often taken like the gentle flower? And do ye never grieve when fortune bids you leave affection's life stream for a gilded bower? Or many one can look far back on some sweet brook with that fair sow bloom, fresh and pure and shining, and many one will say some painted vase of clay is held with spirit like the lily pining. The Mind, the Great, the Mighty Mind by Eliza Cook. The mind, the great, the mighty mind, no source and leaves all earth behind to claim its kindred with the God, and now sinks down on flagging wing till man becomes the meanest thing that walks the sod. The form, the upright, beauteous form, towering like lighthouse mid the storm, now stands in wondrous power and grace, and the shriveled angeled bones, crazy and warped as out gravestones, are all we trace. The hand, the strong, the ruling hand, that piles the pyramids on land, and builds what tempests fail to break, pales yet trembling holds the stiff, while rosy children gaze and love to see it shake. The voice, the deep, the full, firm voice, that swells the fret now rejoice, and pompous oath for revel shout, is not some mumbling thin and weak, we wonder what the garrulous quick is all about. O man, and thou art getting vain of courtly rank or treasured gain, just torn toward the suppressed tree. Ashes to ashes from the prayer, and yellow skulls are crumbling where thou shalt be. The Miser by Eliza Cook. To be frugal is wise, and this lesson of truth should ever be preached in the ears of youth. The young must be curbed in their spendthrift haste, lest meagre want should follow on waste. But to see the hand that is withered and old so eagerly clutch at the shining gold. How can it be good that a man should crave the dross of the world so nigh his grave? Sad is the lot of those who pine in the gloomy depths of the precious mine, but they toil not so hard in gaining the ore as the miser in guarding the glittering store. He counts the coin with a feasting eye, and trembles the while if a steep come nigh. He adds more wealth, and a smiling trace of joy comes o'er his shrunken face. He seeks the bed where he cannot rest, made close beside his idle chest. He wakes with a wildered, haggard stare, for he dreams a thief is busy there. He searches around the boats are fast, and the watchmen of night go past. His coffers are safe, but there's fear in his brain, and the miser cannot sleep again. He never flings the blessed might to fill the orphan child with delight. The dog may howl, the widow may sigh, he hears them not, they may starve and die. His breast is of ice, now throbbing glow spreads there the piercing tale of woe. All torpid and cold, he lives alone in the seeps, like the toad embedded in stone. Death comes, but the Mises, a friendless briar, is free from the sobbing mourner's tear. Unloved, unwept, no grateful one will tell of the kindly deeds he has done, or never covet the Mises' fame. 'Tis a cheerless halloo that circles his name, and one fond heart that will truly grieve will not obey all the gold we can leave. The Mother Who Has a Child at Sea, by Eliza Cook. There's an eye that looks on the swelling cloud, folding the moon in a funeral shroud, that watches the stars dying one by one, till the whole of heaven's come light have gone. There's an ear that listens to the hissing surge, as the mourner turns to the anthem dirge. That eye, that ear, or whose can they be, but the mothers who have a child at sea? There's a cheek that is getting ashy white, as the tokens of storm come on with the night. There's a form that's fixed at the lattice pane, to mark how the gloom gathers over the main, while the yeasty billows lash the shore with loftier sweep and hoarser roar. The cheek, that form, whose can they be, but the mothers who have a child at sea? A rushing whistle chills her blood, as the north wind hurries to scourge the flood, and the icy shiver spreads to her heart, as the first red lines of lightning start. The ocean boils, all mute she stands, with parted lips and tight-clasped hands. Oh, marvel not at her fear, for she's a mother who hath a child at sea. She conjures at the fearful scene of yawning waves, where the ship between, with striking keel and splintered mast, is plunged hard and foundering fast. She sees her boy, with lank, drenched hair, clinging on to the wreck with a cry of despair. Oh, the vision is maddening. No grief can be like a mother's who have a child at sea. She presses her brow, she sinks and kneels, whilst the blast howls on, the thunder peals. She breathes not a word, for passionate prayer is too fervent and deep for the lips to bear. It is poured in the long convulsive sigh, and the straining glance of an upturned eye, and a holier offering cannot be than the mother's prayer for her child at sea. Oh, I laugh for winds when they spurn control, for they suit my own bond-hating soul. I like to hear them sweeping past, like the eagle's pinions, free and fast. But a pang will rise with sad alloy, to soften my spirit and sink my joy, when I think how dismal their voices must be to a mother who hath a child at sea. The Old Armchair, by Eliza Cook. I love it, I love it. And who should dare to chid me for loving that old armchair? I've treasured it long as a sainted prize. I've bedewed it with tears and embaled it with sighs. It is bound by 1,000 bands to my heart. Not a tie will break, not a link will start. Would you learn the spell a mother said wear, and the sacred fingers of that old armchair? In childhood's hour I lingered near the hollowed seat with listening ear. A gentle words that mother would give, to fit me to die and teach me to live. She told me shame would never betide, with truth for my creed and God for my guide. She taught me to lisp my earliest prayer, as I knelt beside that old armchair. I sat and watched her many a day, when her eye grew dim and her locks were grey. I almost worshipped her when she smiled, and turned from her Bible to bless her child. Years rolled on, but the last one sped, my idol was shattered, my earth star fled. I learned how much the heart can bear, when I saw her die in that old armchair. It is past, but I gaze on it now, with quivering breath and throbbing brow. 'Twas where she nursed me, 'twas where she died, and memory flows with a lava tide. Say it is folly, and deem me weak, while the scalding drops start down my cheek. But I love it, and cannot tear myself from my mother's old armchair. The Old Palace, by Eliza Cook. Oh, the palace looked so great and grand, when its walls stood up in their giant pride, when it held the highest in the land, and its triumph's gates were flinching white, when its touts bore the bannered staff, and the courtyard rung with a prancing hoof. The dancing strain and the revel laugh went merrily up to the spanning roof. Oh, the palace was a noble place, in its palmy days of strength and grace. Tower and terrace have fallen low, and the banquet hall is dimly seen, Through ivy and bindweed the twine as we go in shadowy folds of grey and green. Ages have blotted the sculptured crest, the wind sings through the portals down, it stands like an eagle's forsaken nest, dreary and desolate, mournful and low. The sun of its brightness forever has set, but the lone old palace is beautiful yet. We may see a heart as grand and rare stand like the palace in its prime, which in all that is noble and fair did stricken by grief as the palace by time. We may see the moss of a blithe trust creeping around its pillars of joy. But amid the ruin, the gloom, and the dust, there's a glory abiding that naught can destroy. For the true heart is great in its lonely decay, as the palace is grand in its passing away. The Old Watermill by Eliza Cook. And in this the old mill stream that 10 years ago was so fast in its current, so pure and slow, whose musical waters would ripple and shine with the glory and dash of a miniature Rhine? Can this be its bed? I remember it well when it sparkled like silver through meadow and dell, and the pet lamp reposed on its emerald side, and the minnow and perch darted swift through its tide. Yes, here was the miller's house, peaceful abode, where the flower-twinned porch drew all eyes from the road, where roses and jasmine embowered the door, that never was closed to the wayworn or poor. There the miller, God bless him, oft gave us a dance, and led off the ball with a soul in his glance, who, forgetting grey hairs, was as loud in his mirth as the various youngsters that circled his hearth. Blind Ralph was the only musician he had, but his tune, such tunes, would make any heart glad. Roast beef of old England and green grover rushes woke our eyes' brightest beams and our cheeks' warmest flushes. The lustrous splendid its brilliancy shed, but the wood fire blazed high, and the board was well spread. Our seats were undamasked, our partners were rough, yet we were happy, and that was enough. And here was the mill where we idled away our holiday hours on a clear summer day, where Roger, the miller's boy, lolled on a sack and chorused a song to the merry click-clack. But lo, the roots sick leak here hath been done, the streamlet no longer purls on in the sun. Its course has been turned, and the desolate edge is now mournfully covered with duckweed and sedge. The mill is in ruins, no welcoming sound, and the mastiffs groove bark and the wheels dashing round. The house too, untenanted, left to decay, the miller long dead, all our love passed away. This play-place of childhood was graved on my heart in rare paradise colours that now must depart. The old watermill's gone, the fair vision is fled, and I weep o'er its wrecks as I do for the dead. The Ploughshare of Old England by Eliza Cook. The sailor boasts his stately ship, the bulwark of the isle. The soldier loves his sword and sings of tented plains the while. But we will hang the ploughshare up within our father's halls, and guard it as the deity of plenteous festivals. We pluck the brilliant poppies and the far-famed barleycorn, to wreath of bursting wheat ears that outshine the saffron morn. We'll crown it with a glowing heart, and pledge our fertile land, the ploughshare of old England and the sturdy peasant band. The work it does is good and blessed, and may be proudly told. We see it in the teeming barns and fields of waving gold. Its metal is unsullied, no bloodstain lingers there. God speed it well, and let it thrive unshackled everywhere. The bark may rest upon the wave, the spear may gather dust, but never may the prow it cuts the furrow lie in rust. Fill up, with glowing heart, and pledge our fertile land, the ploughshare of old England, and the sturdy peasant hand. The Poet's Wrath by Eliza Cook. Jove said one day he should like to know what would part the child of song from his lyre, and he summoned his minions and bade them go with all their bribes and powers below, nor return till they wrought his desire. The agents departed, Jove's will must be done, they vowed to perform the deed full soon. Vainly they searched in the crowd and the sun, but at last they found a high-souled one, alone with his harp and the moon. Fortune first tempted, she scattered her gold, and placed on his temples a gem-bright rim. But he scarcely glanced on the wealth as it rolled. He said the circlet was heavy and cold, and only a burden to him. Venus came next, and she whispered rare things, and praised him for scorning the bauble and pelf. She promised him Paris in all but the wings, but he laughed and told her with those soft strings he could win such creatures himself. Oppression and poverty tried their spell, nigh sure he would quail at such stern behest. His bit hands would scant in a dark dank cell, where the foam-spitting toad would not choose to dwell, but he still hugged the harp to his breast. They debated what effort the next should be, when Death strode forth with his ponderous start. He held it aloft. "You should know," he cried, "this work can only be done by me." So at once my barb to his heart. It struck, but the last fair flash of his eye was thrown on the lyre as it fell from his hand. The trophy was seized, and they sped to the sky, where the thunderer flamed in his throne on high, and told them they did his command. Jove heard, and he scowled with a gloomier frown. Draws a cloud-bright lens to keep sorrow unseen, he put by his sceptre and flung his bolt down, and snatched from the glory that hallowed his crown the rays of most burning sheen. He hastened to earth, where the minstrel he knelt, and fashioned the beams round his brow in a wreath. He ordained it immortal, to dazzle to melt, and the portion of Godhead since then has dwelt on the power that slumbers in death. The Poor Irish Boy, by Eliza Cook. I wish that the strange kith and kin of my father had never remembered poor Norah at all. You have left me a heap of bright gold, but I'd rather go back as I was to the clay cottage wall. Gay lovers in plenty come whining and wooing, and followed as close as a deer by the hounds. False-hearted fellows, I know what they're doing. They're courting my pennies, not turned into pounds. But Dermot, dear Dermot, is my breathing. Dermot has stricken the root of my joy, for he passes me by with a flash in his eye, saying, "Noah's too rich for the poor Irish boy." Or will I forget when he helped me to carry the bucket of water and basket of peat, when I left him alone, and he yet found he would tarry to gaze on the dew-moistened prints of my feet? Or will I forget his sad praying and weeping when the sickness of fever was wasting my cheek? When he turned from his bread and watched on without sleeping, with a sorrow too deep for his white lips to speak? Or Dermot, dear Dermot, where gold oft bewitches, and the best of our soul it can often destroy, yet Noah's warm heart would soon break amid riches, unless they were shared by the poor Irish boy. For the pledge and pure whiskey too often he's drinking, for he idles his time singing Cashla Macree, yet they cannot be mighty great faults, I am thinking, when the glass and the song are both sacred to me. They tell me his face has no beauty about it, and beauty's a garb for a butterfly's whir. I am not sure, but I love him the better without it, and yet how white are his teeth and how black is his hair. Dermot, my own darling Dermot, never believe that I'll look on another with joy. But just ask me once more if I'll have you forever, and see if I'll turn from the floor Irish boy. The Poor Man's Grave, by Eliza Cook. No sabbath pole, no waving plum, no thousand torchlights to illume, no parting glance, no heavy tear is seen to fall upon the bier. There's not one of kindred clay to watch the coffin on its way, no mortal form, no human breast cares if the pauper's bones may rest. But one deep mourner follows there, whose grief outlives a funeral prayer. He does not sigh, he does not weep, but will not leave a fresh-built heap, to see who was the poor man's mate, and made him more content with fate. The muckle dog that shared his crust is all that stands beside his dust. He bends his listening head, as though he thought to hear a voice below. He pines to miss that voice so kind, and wonders why he's left behind. The sun goes down, the night is come. He needs no food, he seeks not home, but stretched upon the dreamless bed with doleful hole calls back the dead. The passing gaze may coldly dwell on all that polished marbles tell, for temples built on churchyard earth are claimed by riches more than worth. But who would mark with undimmed eyes the morning oak that starves and dies? Who would not ask, who would not crave such love and faith to guard his grave? The Quiet Eye, by Eliza Cook. The orb I like is not the one that dazzles with its lightning gleam, but dares to look upon the sun as though it challenged brighter beam. That orb may sparkle, flash and roll, its fire may blaze, its shaft may fly, but not for me. I prize the soul that slumbers in a quiet eye. There's something in its placid shade that tells of calm, unworldly thought, Hope may be crowned or joy delayed, no dimness steals in the rail's court. Its pensive language seems to say, I know that I must close and die. And death itself, come when it may, can hardly change the quiet eye. This meaning in its steady glance of gentle blame or praising laugh, that makes me trembling to advance a word that meaning might reprove. The haughty threat, the fiery look, my spirit proudly can defy, but never yet could meet and brook the upbraiding of a quiet eye. There's firmness in its even light, that augurs of a breast sincere, and oh, take watch how ye excite firmness till it yield a tear. Some bosoms give an easy sigh, some drops of grief will freely start, but that which sees the quiet eye hath its deep fountain in the heart. The Rook Sits High by Eliza Cook. The rook sits high when the blast sweeps by, right pleased with his white seesaw, and though hollow and bleak be the fierce wind shriek, it is mocked by his loud caw-caw. What care he for the bloom-robbed tree or the rose so sweet and fair? He laughs not the sheen of the springtime green any more than the branches bear. Oh, the merriest bird the wood has saw is the sable-rock with his loud caw-caw. Winter may fling crystal chains on the wing of a fire fair, hardy and strong. The snow-cloud may fall like a downy pall, hushing each warbler's song. The starved gull may come from his ocean home, and the poor little robin lie dead. The curlew boat may shrink from the cold, and the house dove drop his head. But the sable rook still shatters away through the bitterest frost and the darkest day. He builds it in bowers with perfume and flowers, but as far from the earth as he can. He weathers the storm, he seeks for the warm, and craves not the mercy of man. Then a health to the bird whose music is heard, and the ploughboy's whistle is still, to the pinions that rise when the hail shower flies, and the moorcock broods under the hill, for the merriest fell of the woods is saw, as the sable rook with his loud caw-caw. Read in the page of a grey-haired sage, that misfortune should ne'er bow us down, yet if care come nigh, the best of us fly, and cow beneath his frown. But the rook's content when the summer is sent, and is glad when its glories face. When fill to the brim, here's a bumper to him, who sings on through the sun and the shade. For the wisest fellow the world has saw, is the sable rook with his loud caw-caw. The Ruthless Hand of Savage Strife by Eliza Cook. The ruthless hand of savage strife lays waste to fair and smiling bowers. The ruby flood of streaming blood darkens the earth and chokes the flowers. But let the fearful day be past. The dust forgets the sanguine stain, the crushed blade rises fresh and fast, and leaf and flower are there again. The sunlight gilds the rippling tide, the wave is gentle in its flow, till some rude bark in sweeping pride disturbs it with a cleaving prow. Foam dashes as the keel speeds on, its chafing track awakes the main. A moment and the foam is gone, ruffled waters sleep again. The clouds may meet in frowning form and gather in the face of day. The shadow of a scouting storm may overcast the noontide ray. But soon the south wind breathes serene, the bee and bird are on the plain. The sky forgets the storm hath been, and all is joy and light again. So should our bosoms take the jar, that faultless speech or deed may wake. The wounds which, soon healed, slightly scar, kept open, fester, bleed and ache. Let not the seed of anger live, the yielding heart knows least of pain. The wisest to forget, forgive, and dwell in love and peace again. The Sabbath Bell by Eliza Cook. Peal on, I love to hear the old church ding-dong soft and clear. The welcome sounds are doubly blessed with future hope and earthly rest. Yet were no calling changes found to spread their cheering echoes round, there's not a place where man may dwell but he can hear Sabbath Bell. Go to the woods when winter's song howls like a famished wolf along, or when the south winds scarcely turn the light leaves of a trembling fern. Although no cloistered chimes ring there, our heart is called to faith and prayer, for all creation's voice tell the tidings of a Sabbath Bell. Go to the billows, let them pour in gentle calm or headlong roar. Let the vast ocean be thy home, wilt find a god upon the foam. And rippling swell or stormy roll the crystal wave shall wake thy soul, and thou shalt feel the hallowed spell of a white water Sabbath Bell. The lark upon the skyward way, the robin on the hedgerow spray, the bee within the wild firm's bloom, the owl amid the suppressed gloom, all sing in every varied tone a whisper to the great unknown. Above below one choral swells of gods unnumbered Sabbath bells. The Sea Child by Eliza Cook. He crawls to the cliff and plays on the brink, where every eye but his own would shrink. No music he hears but the billows' noise, and shells and weeds are his only toys. No lullaby can the mother find to sing him to rest like the moaning wind, and the louder it wails and the fiercer it sweeps, the deeper he breathes and the sounder he sleeps. And now his wandering feet can reach rugged tracks of a desolate beach, creeping about like a triton nymph to find the haunts of a crab and shrimp. He climbs, with none to guide or help, to the furthest ridge of slippery kelp, and his boat hard close while he stands and mocks the sea-mew's cry on the jutting rocks. Few years have waned, and now he stands, bareheaded on the shelving sands. About is moored, but his young hands cope right well with a twisted cable rope. He frees the craft, she kisses the tide, the boys climb to beaten side. She drifts, she floats, he shouts with glee, his soul half claimed its right on the sea. 'Tis vain to tell him the howling breath rides over waters with wreck and death. He'll say there's more fear and pain on the plague-ridden earth and the storm-lashed main. 'Twould be as wise to spend thy power in trying to lure the bee from the flower, the lark from the sky, or the worm from the grave, as in weaning the sea-child from the wave. The Sea Child by Eliza Cook. He crawls to the cliff and plays on the brink, where every eye but his own would shrink. No music he hears but the billows' noise, and shells and wets are his only toys. No lullaby can the mother find to sing him to rest like the moaning wind. And the louder it wails and the fiercer it sweeps, the deeper he breathes and the sounder he sleeps. And now his wandering feet can reach rugged tracks of a desolate beach, creeping about like a triton imp to find the haunts of a crab and shrimp. He clings, with none to guide or help, to the furthest ridge of slippery kelp, and his boat hard glows while he stands and mocks the sea-mew's cry on the jutting rocks. Few years have waned, and now he stands bareheaded on the shelving sands. A boat is moored, but his young hands cope right well with a twisted cable rope. He frees the craft, she kisses the tide, the boy has climbed to beaten side. She drifts, she floats, he shouts with glee, his soul hath claimed its right on the sea. 'Tis vain to tell him the howling breath rides over waters of wreck and death. He'll say there's more fear and pain the plague-ridden earth and the storm-lashed main. 'Twould be as wise to spend thy power in trying to lure the bee from the flower, the lark from the sky, or the worm from the grave, as in weaning the sea-child from the wave. The ship was at rest in the tranquil bay, by Eliza Cook. The ship was at rest in the tranquil bay, unmoved by a ripple, undimmed by a cloud. The winds were asleep, and their broad sails lay as still and as white as a winding shroud. She was a fair and beautiful thing, with the waters around her all peaceful and bright, ready for speed as a wild bird's wing, graceful and quiet mid glory and light. There was the maiden wandering free, with a cheek as fresh as the foam at her feet, with a heart that went forth like a summer day bee, to take nothing but honey from all it might meet. She stood on the land as the bark on the main, as blessed in beauty, as lovely in form. The maiden had dreamt not of sadness or pain, the vessel had never been dashed by the storm. Where are they now, the brave ship and the fair girl? Gaze on the fragments that scatter the shore. The tempest is raging, the mad billows curl, and the glorious bark shall be looked on no more. And the maiden so fair, oh, for change has come there. She's wandering still, and she wanders alone, but her cheek is grown white, and her eye lost its light, and the dove from her breast with its olive has flown. She's laughed, but not wisely, she walks to the grave. Unwept and unmarked shall her spirit depart. There's a record of ships that go down in the wave, but no whisper to tell of a wreck of heart. The Star of Glengary by Eliza Cook. The red moon is up over moss-covered mountain. The hour is at hand when I promise to rove with the turf-cutter's daughter by Logan's bright water, and tell her how truly her Donald can love. I can there's the miller, the plenty o' siller, would fain win a glance from a beautiful lay. But my ain bonny Mary, Star of Glengary, keeps her sweet smiles and soft kisses for me. 'Tis lang sin we first trod the highlands together, through frolicsome brains, gaily starting the deer, and I caught him alive, my ain bonny wee wife, and ne'er knew sic joy as when Mary was near. And still she's the blossom I wore in my bosom, a blossom I'll cherish and word will I die. For my ain bonny Mary, the Star of Glengary, she's health, and she's wealth, and she's a good to me. The Suit of Russet Brown by Eliza Cook. A maiden once a lover had, who breathed the truest sighs, but simply was, with lover clad in dark and lovely guise. So all his wooing was in vain, she scorned his passion great, she tossed her head and mocked his pain, and laughed at all he said. No, no, cried she, the tale would be a jest for all the town. I'll wed no youth who wears forsooth a suit of russet brown. He offered her a gentle bird, whose plumage, it was true, gave forth no sheen of glossy green, nor scarlet, gold, or blue. She looked upon it with an eye that flashed with kindling pride. With head uplift she scorned the gift, and thrust the cage aside. No, no, cried she with pompous airs, such boon I would not own, for, like yourself, it only wears a suit of russet brown. When next she met the youth, he wore a doublet of brave cost. The bird's rich song was heard poor, but youth and bird were lost. The maiden then bewailed her fate, she rued his scornful mirth, and though but she fought too late, plain garbs may cover worth. When ladies lists the lesson learn, be wary how ye frown, think twice, or once ye rudely spurn a suit of russet brown. The Thames by Eliza Cook. Let the Rhine be blue and bright, and its path of liquid light, let red grapes fling a beam of glory on the stream. Let the gorgeous beauty there mingle all that's rich and fair. Yet to me it ne'er could be like that river great and free, the Thames, the mighty Thames. Though it be no azure wave, though no pearly foam may lave, or leaping cascades pour where rainbows on its shore, yet I ever loved to dwell where I heard its gushing swell, and never skimmed its breast, but warmly praised and blessed the Thames, the mighty Thames. Can you find in all the world a braver flag unfurled than that which floats above a stream I sing and laugh? Oh, what a burning glow has thrilled my breast and brow to see that proud flag come with glory to its home, the Thames, the mighty Thames. That rips more firm and fast, amid the shot or blast, than the gallant barks that glide on its full and steady tide. Would ye seek a dauntless crew, with hearts to dare and hands to do, you'll find the foe proclaims they are cradled of the Thames, the mighty Thames. They say the mountain child oft loves its torrent wild so well, that should he part he breaks his pining heart. He grieves with smothered sighs, till his wearing spirit dies. And so I yearn to thee, thou river of the free, now, my native Thames. The Tomb by Eliza Cook. Few years ago I shunned the tomb, and turned me from the tablet stone. I shivered in the churchyard gloom, and sickened at the bleaching bone. When all around my warm young heart the kindred tie, the cherished form, I knew not what it was to part, and give them to the dust and warm. But soon I lost the gems of earth, I saw the dearest cold in death, and so it changed my joyous mirth to seeing drops and sobbing breath. I stood by graves all dark and deep, pale, voiceless, wrapped in mute despair. I left my soul's door to sleep in stirless, dreamless slumber there. And now I steal at night to see the soft clear moonbeams playing o'er the hallowed beds, and long to be where all my prized have gone before. Now can calmly gaze around on noised heaps with yearning eye, and murmur o'er the grassy mound, "'Tis a glorious privilege to die." The grave hath lost its conquering might, and death its dreaded sting of pain, since they but oped the path of light to lead me to the loved again. The Village Church by Eliza Cook. The village church is passing gay, the bells gush out in merry tune, the flag is o'er the tout grey, the poke holds all the flowers of June. For youth and beauty come to wed, with bounding form and beaming eye, with all the rapture love can shed, and all the hope that gold can buy. And children twine with noisy glee, white favours around the cypress tree. An old man sitteth on the grave, his steps no more are firm and fast, and slenderly his white locks wave, as breeze and butterfly go past. A gentle smile lights up his face, and when he turns to gaze around, for he is come to choose the place where he shall sleep in hollowed ground. Just by yon daisy patch, saith he, 'tis there I'd have it be. Their bridal hearts in triumph glow, with all the world before them yet. The old man's pulse beats calm and slow, like sunrays, lengthening as they set. They see the fancied hours to come, he sees the real days gone by. They deem the earth a fairy home, he thinks it well that man should die. O goodly sigh, it should be so, youth glad to stay, age fit to go. The Welcome Back by Eliza Cook. Sweet is the hour that brings us home, where all will spring to meet us, where hands are striving as we come to be the first to greet us. And the world hath spent its frowns and wrath, and care been sorely pressing. 'Tis sweet to turn from our roving path and find a fireside blessing. O joyous dears the homeward trek, if we are but sure of welcome back. Or do we wreck on the dreary way, for lonely and benighted? If we know there are lips to chide our stay, and eyes that will beam love-lighted, what is the worth of your diamond ray to the glance that flashes pleasure? And the words that welcome back betray we form a heart's chief treasure? O joyful dears our homeward trek, if we are but sure of a welcome back. The Wild Bee and the Butterfly by Eliza Cook. The wild bee and the butterfly are bright and happy things to see, living beneath a summer sky and nestling in an orange tree. The eagle, monarch of the rocks, soars nobly in his lonely flight, with lightning streams and thunder shocks, the bird of freedom, strength and might. The graceful moils, bounding, leaps where other steeps would pause and shrink. He spans the gulf, he climbs the steeps, and sports upon the topmost brink. Blessed things of earth, the bright, the brave, and lands of serfdom still the free. Yet not one privilege ye have is sought or coveted by me. But I have heard an eastern tale of creature patient, mild, and fair, whose faith is never known to fail till man gives more than brute should bear. Then meekly proud, its head is bowed, with wrong and suffering oppressed, to breath its gentle life away and sink at once in death and rest. This is the privilege I'd ask, when throbbing pulse and aching brow betray how sadly dark the task the soul may have to learn below. Oh, I have lived through many an hour that bade my writhing spirit cry, "Give me the Lam's fabled power, break, break my heart and let me die." The World by Eliza Cook. Talk who will of the earth as the desert of frail, yet there's the bloom on the waste, for the chalice of life hath its accident gall, where honey drops too for the taste. We murmur and drop should this whole cloud stay, and note all the shades of our lot, but the rich scintillions that brighten our way are basked in, enjoyed and forgot. Those who look on mortality's ocean aright will not mourn o'er each beloved rolls, but dwell on the glories, the beauties, the might, as much as the shipwrecks and shoals. How thankless is he who remembers alone all the bitter, the dear, and the dark. Though the raven may scare with its woe-boding tone, do we ne'er hear the song of the lark? We may utter farewell, and 'tis torture to part, but in meeting the dear one again, have we never rejoiced with that wildness of heart which outbalances ages of pain? Who have not had moments so laden with bliss, when the soul, in its fullness of love, would waver, if bidden to choose between this and the paradise promised above? Though the eye may be dim with its grief drop awhile, and the widened lips sigh forth its fear, yet pensive indeed is that face where the smile is not oftener seen than the tear. There are times when the storm gust may rattle around, there are spots where the poison shrub grows, yet are there not hours when naught else can be found but the southwind, the sunshine and rose? A harplessly rare is the portion that's ours, and strange is the path that we take. If there spring not beside us a few precious flowers to soften the thorn and the break. The wail of regret, the rude clashing of strife, the soul's harmony often may mar, but I think we must own, the discords of life, this ours helps of breaking the jar. Earth is not all fair, yet it is not all gloom, and the voice of the grateful will tell that he who allotted pain, death, and the tomb gave hope, health, and the bridal well. Should fate do its worst, and my spirit, oppressed, o'er its own shattered happiness pine, let me witness the joy in another's glad breast, and some pleasure must kindle in mine. When say not the world is a desert of frail, there's bloom, there's light on the waste, though the chalice of life have its acid and gall, there honey drops too for the taste. There's nothing in vain by Eliza Cook. Prize not the essence of beauty alone, and disdain not the weak and the mean in our way. For the world is an engine, the architect's own, the wheels of least might keep the larger in play. We laugh of heath valleys, with bloom in the shade, we sing of green hills, of the grape and the grain. But be sure the Creator did well when he made the stark desert and march, for there's nothing in vain. We may question the locust that darkens the land, and the snake flinging arrows of death from its eye. But remember, we come from the infinite hand, and shall man, in his littleness, dare to ask why? Or let us not speak of the useless or vile, that may seem so to us, but be slow to arraign. From the savage wolf's cry to the happy child's smile, from the might to the mammoth, there's nothing in vain. There's a mission, no doubt, for the worm in the dust, and there is for the charger with nostrils of pride. The sloth and the newt have their places of trust, and the agents are needed, for God has supplied, or could we but trace the great meaning of all. And what delicate links from the ponderous chain, from the dewdrops that rise to the stardrops that fall, we should see but one purpose, and nothing is vain. This is the hour for me, by Eliza Cook. I'll sail upon the mighty main, but this is not the hour. There's not enough of wind to move a plume in lady's bower. Oh, this is ne'er the time for me. A pretty bark would take a place upon the ocean like a rose leaf on a lake. There's not a murmur in the ear, no shade to meet the eye. The ripple sleeps, the sun is up, all cloudless in the sky. I do not like the gentle calm of such a torpid sea. I will not greet the glassy sheet. 'Tis not the hour for me. Now the night breeze freshens fast, the green waves gather strength. The heavy mainsail firmly swells, the pennon shows its length. Our boat is jumping in the tide quick, let her hawser slip, though but a tiny thing she lift beside a giant ship. Away, away, what nectar spray she flings about her bow, what diamonds flash in every splash that drips upon my brow. She knows she bears a soul that dares and loves the dark rough sea. More sail I cry, let her fly, this is the hour for me. Though like the marble rock of old, by Eliza Cook. Though like the marble rock of old, this heart may seem all hard and cold, yet like that rock, a touch will bring the water from the secret spring. Let memory breath the softest tone, with magic force it breaks the stone, and forth will gush, all fresh and bright, living tide of love and light that pours in vain. For like the cloud of gathered storm, this brow may be of dull, dark form, yet like that cloud, the brow may be the spirit lightning hidden there. The pensive mood, the charmless frown, will weigh my heavy eyelids down. The gloom is deep, but it is fraught with flashings of electric thought that burst in pain. The eastern flow of desert birth is prized not by the decks of the earth, but snatched and gathered, crushed and dared, is valued for its odor shed. And so is a lyre, whose native sound scare wins the ear of those around. There were a richer wrath of bay, when still in death a hand shall lay that wakes its strain. Thy kingdom come, by Eliza Cook. 'Tis human lot to meet and bear the common ills of human life. There's not a breast but half its share of bitter pain and vexing strife. The pageant in his loudly shed, the noble neath the gilded dome, each will at some time bow his head and ask and hope, Thy kingdom come. When some deep sorrow, surely slow, despoils the cheek and eats the heart, laying our busy projects low, and bidding all earth's dreams depart, do we not smile and calmly turn from the wide world's tumultuous hum, and feel the immortal essence yearn, rich with a thought, Thy kingdom come. The waves of care may darkly bound, and buffet till, our strength outworn, we stagger as they gather round, all shattered, weak and tempest-torn. But there's a lighthouse for the soul, with beacons to stormless home. It safely guides through roughest tides, it shines, it saves. Thy kingdom come. To gaze upon the laughed and deaf, to mark the closing beamless eye, to press dear lips and find no breath, this is life's worst agony. But God, too merciful, too wise, to leave a lone one in despair, whispers, while snatching those we prize, My kingdom come, ye'll meet them there. Thy will be done, by Eliza Cook. Let the scholar and divine tell us how to pray aright. Let the truths of gospel shine with their precious hallowed light. But the prayer a mother taught is to me a matchless one. Eloquent and spirit-fraught are the words, Thy will be done. Though not fairly understood, still was words at evening hour, implied most being, great and good, of mercy, majesty, and power. Bending low on infant knee, and gazing on the setting sun, I thought what all his home must be, to whom I said, Thy will be done. I have searched the sacred page, I have heard the godly speech, but the law of saint or sage nothing holier can teach. Pain is wrung my spirit sore, but my soul the triumph won, and the anguish that I bore only breathed, Thy will be done. They have served on pressing need, have nerved my heart in every task, and howsoever my breast may bleed, no other balm or prayer I ask, and my whitened lips declare, life's last sands have almost run, may the dying breath they be a murmur forth, Thy will be done. 'Tis midnight, by Eliza Cook. 'Tis midnight, and pale melancholy stands beside me, wearing a funeral wreath of hue and cypress. The faint dirge of death moans in her breathing, while her withered hands fling coarse bedecking rosemary around. She offers nightshade, spreads the winding sheet, points to the clinching clay upon her feet, and whispers tidings of a charnel ground. I pray thee, melancholy, do not bring these bitter emblems with thee. I can bear with all but these, 'tis these, O God, that wring and plunge my heart in maddening despair. Hence for while, pale melancholy, go, and let sweet slumber lull my weeping woe. 'Tis well to give honor and glory to age, by Eliza Cook. 'Tis well to give honor and glory to age, with its lessons of wisdom and truth. Yet who would not go back to the fanciful page, and the fairy tale read but in youth? Let time rolling on crown the fame of gold, let us bask in the kindless beams. Yet what hope can be cherished, what gift can we hold, that will bless like our earlier dreams? As wine would have stood for a while on the broad, may it glow as volucious and bright, but not with the freshness when first it was poured, nor its brim-kissing sparkles of light. As the flowers live on in their fragrance and bloom, the long summer day to adorn, yet fail with their beauty to charm and illume, as when clothed with the dew gems of morn. So life may retain its full portion of joy, and fortune give all that she can, but the feelings that gladden the breast of the boy will rarely be found in the man. Washington, the brightest name on history's page, by Eliza Cook. Land of the West, the passing brief, the record of thine age, thou hast a name that darkens all on history's white page. Let all the blasts of fame ring out, thine shall be loudest far. Let others boast their satellites, thou hast the planet star. Thou hast a name whose characters of light shall ne'er depart, 'tis stamped upon the dullest brain and warms the coldest heart. A war cry fit for any land where freedom's to be won. Land of the West, it stands alone, it is thy Washington. Rome had its Caesar, great and brave, but stain was on his wrath. He lived the heartless conqueror, and died the tyrant's death. France had its eagle, but his wings, what lofty they might soar, were spread in false ambition's flight and dipped in murderous gore. Those hero gods whose mighty sway would fain have claimed the waves, who flashed their blades of tiger's heel to make a world of slaves, who though their kindred bared the path still fiercely waded on, oh, where appears their glory now beside a Washington? He fought, but not with love of strife, he struck but not defend, and ere he turned a people's foe, he sought to be a friend. He strove to keep his country's right by reason's gentle word, and sight when all injustice through the challenge sword to sword. He stood, the firm, the grand, the wise, the patriot and the sage. He showed no deep avenging hate, nor burst of desperate rage. He stood for liberty and truth, and daringly led on, till shouts of victory gave forth the name of Washington. Water, by Eliza Cook. Wine, wine, thy power and praise have ever been echoed in minstrel lays. But water, I deem, hath a mightier claim, to fill up a niche in the temple of fame. Ye who are bred in Anacreon's school may sneer at my strain as the song of a fool. Ye are wise, no doubt, but have yet to learn how it hunt can cleave and the veins can burn. Should ye ever be one of a fainting band, with your brow to the sun, your feet to the sand, I would wager the thing I most love to spare, that your bacchanal chorus would never ring there. Traverse the desert, and then ye can tell what treasures exist in the cold, deep well. Sink in despair on the red parched earth, and then ye may reckon what water is worth. Famine is laying the hand of bone on the ship becalmed in the torrid zone. The gnawing of hunger's worm is past, but fire thirst lives on to the last. The stouted one of the gallant crew have a cheek and lips of ghastly hue. The hot blood stands in each glassy eye, and water, O God, is the only cry. There's drought in the land, and the herbage is dead, and a ripple is heard in the streamlet's bed. The herds slow bleat, and the sick man's pant are mournfully telling the boon we want. Let heaven this one rich gift withhold, or soon we find it is better than gold. And water, I say, have a right to claim the minstrel's song and the tithe of fame. We are apt to grow weary in this troubled world at times, by Eliza Cook. We are apt to grow weary in this troubled world at times, for even golden bells can ring in melancholy chimes. And let our human lot in life be what or where it may, dark shadows often rise from which our hearts will turn away. Full often do we sigh to taste some spirit draught of joy, and almost envy childhood's laugh above its painted toy. When some great hope breaks under us, or loved ones prove unjust, and roused from stale dreams, we find our pillow in the dust. Say, whither shall we turn to seek the healing balm of rest, and when shall come the cheerful ray to re-illume our breast? Or let us go and breath of woe in nature's kindly ear, for a soft hand will ever deign to wipe the mourner's tear. She mocks not, while we tell our grief with voice all sad and faint, and seems the fondest, while we poor, weak and lonely plaint. Or let us take our sorrows to the bosom of the hills, and blend our pensive murmurs with the gurgle of the rills. Or let us turn in weariness toward the grassy way, where skylarks teach us how to praise, and ring-notes how to pray, and where the melodies of peace that flout around the sod shall bring back hope and harmony upon the voice of God. Where there's the will, there's the way, by Eliza Cook. We have faith in our proverbs full surely, for wisdom may trace what they tell, and truth may be drawn up as purely from them as it may from a well. Let us question the thinkers and doers, and hear what they honestly say, and you'll find they believe, like bold wooers, in where there's a will, there's a way. The hills have been high to man's mounting, the woods have been dense for the axe, the stars have been thick for his counting, the sands have been wide for his tracks. The sea has been deep for his diving, the poles have been broad for his way, but bravely is proved in his striving that where there's a will, there's a way. Have ye vices, and ask a destroyer, or passions that need your control? Let reason become your employer, and your body be ruled by your soul. Fight on, though you bleed in the trial, resist with what strength that ye may conquer sin's housed by denial, for where there's a will, there's a way. Have your poverties pinching to cope with? Does suffering weigh down your might? Only call up a spirit to hope with, and dawn may come out of the night. How much may be done by defying the ghosts of despair and dismay, and much may be gained by relying on where there's a will, there's a way. Should ye see afar off that worth winning, set out on the journey with trust, and ne'er heed if your path at beginning should be among brambles and dust. Though it is but your footsteps ye do it, and hardships may hinder and stay, keep a heart and be sure you'll get through it, for where there's a will, there's a way. Winter's Wildflowers, by Eliza Cook. 'Tis dark and dreary winter time, the snow is on the ground. No roses trail, no woodbines climb, no poppies flaunt around. The earth is hard, the trees are bare, the frozen robin drops. The wind is whistling everywhere, the crystal brooklet stops. But I have found a grassy mound, a green and sheltered spot, and there peeps up a primrose cup with blue forget-me-not. Great to me the joy to see the springbuds opening now, to find the leaves that May day weaves on old December's brow. They say the world does much to make the heart a frosting thing, that selfish age will kill and break the garlands of our spring. It's stark and cold, we wail and sigh when wintry snows begin, and all hope's lovely blossoms die, and chilling winds set in. But let me pray, that come what may to desolate this breast, some wildflower's bloom will yet illume and be its angel guest. For who would live when life could be no feeling touched with youth? No May day gleams so light with dreams, December's freezing truth. Winter, the season for the exercise of charity, by Eliza Cook. We know 'tis good that out winter should come, roving awhile from his Lapland home. 'Tis fitting that we should hear the sound of his reindeer sledge on the slippery ground. For his white and glittering cloak of snow protects the seeds of life below. Beneath his mantle are nurtured and born the roots of the flowers, the germs of the corn. The whistling tone of his pure strong breath rides purging the vapours of pestilent death. I love him, I say, and I vow it again, for God's wisdom and might shew well in his train. But the naked, the poor, and all the quail, have crouching limbs from the bitening gale. They pine and starve by the fireless hearth, and weep as we gaze on the frost-bound earth. Stand nobly forth, ye rich of the land, with kindly heart and boundless hand. Remember, 'tis now their season of need, and pray for help is a call you must heed. A few of thy blessings, a five of thy gold, will save the young and cherish the old. 'Tis a glorious task to work such good. Do it, ye great ones, ye can and ye should. He's not worthy to hold from heaven the trust reposed, the talents given, who will not add to the portion that's scant in the pinching hours of cold and want. Oh, listen in mercy, ye sons of wealth, basking in comfort and glowing with health. Give whatever ye can spare, and be sure he serveth his Maker who aideth the poor. Right Soon, by Eliza Cook. Long parting from the hearts we love, the shadow o'er the brightest face, and happy they who part, and proper affection changes not with place. A sad farewell is warmly dear, but something dear may be found to dwell on lips that are sincere, and look on bosoms closely bound. The pressing hand, the steadfast sigh, are both less earnest than the boon which, fervently, the last fond sigh begs on the hopeful words, right soon. Right soon, oh, sweet request of truth, how tenderly its accents come. We heard it first in early youth when mothers watched us leaving home. And still amid the trumpet joys, that vary us with pomp and show, we turn from all the brassy noise to hear this minor cadence flow. Depart, but carry on our way some loved one's plaintive spirit tune, that, as we wander, seems to say, affection lives on faith, right soon.